building yet. All right. Leroy has a take he'd like to lay on the table regarding quarterbacks after last night's Monday Night Football game, and I'm thrilled that he is going to bring this to the table for everybody. So, Leroy, go ahead. What do you have today?
So I was looking at
last night. The Justin Herbert. You say don't pick Petty. I didn't pick Petty yesterday. I picked in my picks. I took the points and I took the home dog with the LA Chargers. And undoubtedly, in a clutch game, Justin Herbert is there to let you down. So
now
the floor is yours.
You've had this conversation about a number of quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Dak, right? I mean, can we even put Aaron Rodgers in that? Like, guy that's been there a bunch of times, only succeeded once, but have had like best records in the NFL and all that stuff. But I got to tell you, this Justin Herbert looks the part. Tremendous arm, unbelievable talent around him. But is he better than Tua? Is he really better than Tua? You can say it's the offense. You can say whatever you want.
This guy's never had his feet held to the fire and everything. It's always the coach.
Right.
The coach is a boob. Let's get a new offensive coordinator in there.
And I'm saying like this. At some point, this is sports. At some point, no matter how talented you are and what your circumstances are, right? Aren't you going to be evaluated for the difference that you can make on a team or organization? I mean, he's already got his money. Yeah. He's already gotten paid.
There was no doubt. You looked at him, he was the prototype for sure.
Right. Exactly.
This was a debate that was done to a lot of people after their rookie year. It wasn't even close. Justin Herbert put up rookie record numbers.
But we can't use Tua as the coach held him back. We can't say it about Tua. We said it about Justin Herbert.
No, nobody did it with Tua.
Nobody.
And by the way, not even the Dolphins did because they were searching for every replacement under the sun for him.
So now
until they got to last year.
So I take Tua, and I put Tua in very favorable position to succeed, just like Herbert has with his talent. Look at what Tua's doing. Look at what Herbert's doing. Like, I'm just like, at some point, you can say what it should be. You can say what what it looks like or whatever.
Well, I don't like,
but we have to say it is what it is.
I know you don't like quarterback duels. You don't love that, but look. Week 1, they're going to be forever tied. It just is what it is. 5-6, they're going to be forever tied.
Sure.
Tua went out there, put his team in position to win in the week 1 matchup. Great duel. Probably Herbert's best game of the year.
Right.
But what did Herbert do at the end? Screw the pooch.
But that's it. That's it. You cannot look.
He's a late.
Tua has made mistakes in games. Some bad ones, right? Some terrible throws, right? But can you think of a time during a game, in a pivotal moment during the game, where Tua's thrown a pick? He's thrown picks.
Oh, he throws some disgusting picks.
But I'm saying crunch time, I can even go back to last year against the Ravens.
Probably second year Bills. That was probably his worst.
But that's it. Look how hard we had to think about it.
Got good memory.
The fact that we have to think about that when we can pull off several games for other quarterbacks to where, you got the ball driving down the field. And
I just think the thing that's interesting about it is that Justin Herbert, it was just done. The debate was done for everybody.
Right.
And really, if you want to go by talent-wise about them, yeah, he's got a piss whistle. I mean, he never seems to use it when it matters, you know? I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, great, you have this weapon that never seems to be used when it matters.
Agreed, Smeathan. I agree.
What?
Why are we lashing out at Herbert? It's not his fault. It's the media's fault. I've said that all along. But here's what I hate about these arguments. The ignorance aspect of it, right? Like, you only pick parts.
10, 11.
You only pick parts of the story that you want to tell. Because we were quick to talk about Herbert's situation and why he can't be successful. But has any quarterback in recent years gone through what Tua went through his first year as far as injury and the coach just basically dismissing him in the organization?
The thing that was the Dolphins were going to be looked upon as making a generational mistake after 1 year. And now they're in a spot where it's like the only thing you really could put forth with Justin Herbert that you trust more than Tua is his body is going to hold up because he's the size he is and Tua is. And I tell you what does he have, a finger fracture now?
Yep.
So like, and then that's an injury that Tua. Oh, no. Go away. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Ah! 1 minute off. Damn it. Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, the murderer. I don't even blame you today, J-Fig. It was really nasty traffic. It was really bad. I think it's because everybody wanted to go. I don't know if like people just wanted to go show off their sweater weather or their sweaters today to coworkers. Why was this?
She comes in with a tank top.
I don't understand why.
What, are you going through menopause? That's probably worrying about being late.
I don't know what it is, but like, yeah, the roads were like crazy. I got on the turnpike. I was like, you know what? I should probably see like, what route should I take today? And it said my straight shoot down the turnpike was a 2 hour and 15-minute ride. I was like,
oh my goodness. You ready for this one?
What's that?
J-Fig is always late because she hates early birds.
Point for
well done, man, South.
That's a good one.
Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah, so anyway, I just think that, the thing that's become interesting with this is, okay, with Justin Herbert, amazing start out of the gate. Not a guy, by the way, that guy's had weapons from the start. I mean,
right.
Eckler, I know Mike Williams gets hurt all the time and he's hurt again, but Keenan Allen, like it's not like he's had nothing.
Eckler is one of the top.
He's got that tight end who's like 6'9". He's got his weapons. He's got his weapons. But yeah, he's already been through. He's on his second head coach too. Second coordinator. Is it third coordinator or second coordinator?
Who?
Herbert. Might be his third. But
this is his fourth year, right?
Yes.
And this is the first year he has
Kellen Moore.
Right.
So either way, he's been through the coaching changes too, but I do think the thing that has become funny about it is this was a debate nobody wanted to have. I would say even into last year, nobody was ready to have that talk between them, and especially after the Sunday Night Football matchup where, Justin Herbert got the way best. I would probably say that was probably Tua's worst performance to recent memory was the Chargers Sunday Night Football game.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it was kind of maybe turning up to that point. And then it was like you had that performance, and then the Dolphins went on a losing streak, and then Tua got the concussions, and it was like, oh, no. Young, strapping Herbert. That's the way to go. This year, it's not close.
Right.
This year, it's not close.
But at what point are we going to just acknowledge it instead of have these preconceived notions about the two of them and just look at their production? Like we instead of just acknowledging the fact that Tua has been better, you know what they're going to talk about? All of the surrounding pieces. And I would say Tua's first 2 years, he didn't have anybody as good as what Herbert had.
I do think that I do think that there is a fascinating discussion with the Dolphins between Tua and Tyreek about who is the most valuable player just because of how excellent Tyreek Hill is. It's not a knock on Tua. Now, that being said, like I was having this, because I see these takes, who do you think was the first one to bring this to the table? I saw Chris Sims, of course. And the thing that I was like, but if you told me this week I could only have one against Philadelphia, I'm taking my quarterback.
Right. But here's
but Tyreek Hill is he's the only he's the only receiver I can think of recently where it's like, I'll think about it.
So here's the other argument.
I'll think about it.
Here's the other argument if you're gonna say Tyreek Hill. Okay. That only became a thing when he left Kansas City. Because when he was in Kansas City, it was all about Mahomes getting him the ball, which is crazy. So a year removed from Kansas City, now he's the reason. But when he was with Mahomes, it was Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, so like
right now,
neither guy can win.
No.
Neither guy can win because everybody has
right now Tua is the
Tobin to get out of the story.
right now, Tua is the odds-on favorite. I don't like that, by the way.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know
I know some KC fans, and they're still salty at Tyreek. They're team petty on him.
No, it wasn't him.
They feel like, you know,
it's easy to say it wasn't him.
Yeah,
it's easier to say that.
But I'm here to tell you, there's no way you don't miss him. There's no if you're a Kansas City fan, and by the way, you've been watching Kansas City's offense. There's no way you don't miss him.
They batting balls all over the place.
There's no way you don't miss him.
Right.
But right now, odds wise, according to FanDuel, Tua, he's plus 330. He's the favorite to win the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes is plus 340. Josh Allen's plus 650. Hurts plus 850, and Brock Purdy is plus 1,000. Which even lets you know, Christian McCaffrey's probably got the best argument on that team.
But
it's a quarterback award. They really should call the MVP best quarterback in the league, because the position players don't really have a shot. Who's the last guy? AP was the last running back to win it.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey right now.
Put it this way. Who's the running back from Tennessee?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 yards and didn't win the MVP.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey right now is the position player who has the best odds. That's not a quarterback. He's plus 2,400. And Tyreek Hill, I don't think a receiver's ever won it.
Right.
And he's plus 5,500.
Wide receiver?
I don't think a wide receiver's ever won MVP. I don't think so. Super Bowl MVP.
Jerry Rice didn't win it?
I don't think so.
Okay. No, Cooper Kupp did.
He won MVP?
I think so.
I don't think so, dude.
I think in '87 he won MVP, Jerry Rice.
He won the MVP?
Yeah, because he also won Super Bowl MVP.
Hold on.
All right. Well, either way.
But look how far we have to go.
That's really far back.
And literally, arguably the greatest football player other than, Lawrence Taylor.
Sir Jerry Rice? No, he's good. No, Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor's won. He won MVP, didn't he?
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Look, and you know what? I just searched 1987 MVP, and it doesn't say. It says alternative option was Jerry Rice. It says John Elway, an alternative option Jerry Rice. The hell does that even mean?
A wide receiver has never won MVP.
Yeah, I don't think they have ever won MVP.
That is disgusting.
And I don't know if Tyreek Hill can win MVP.
Oh my God! And when Jerry Rice had 1,800 yard season, guess who won that year? Brett Favre.
Well, what if he does? But here's the thing: if he does something, if he
wins 2,000,
if he gets to 2,000,
they'll give it to Tua.
Probably.
Because that means Tua's going to throw for 5,800 yards.
Oh, that's good. Back up to this.
WQAM broadcast.
Should I come back, J-Fig? Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Taking you up until 2 here on the program. Got a lot of fun stuff to give away here today. First off, we'll have Stars and Strings tickets. A great night of country music is coming to Hard Rock Live on November 1st. We're giving you a chance to win tickets to go see Jordan Davis, Hardy, Brian Kelly, Ashley McBride, Cole Swindell, and Haley Witters. Keep on listening. We will give away a pair of tickets in today's show. If you can't wait to win, tickets are available for purchase at starsandstrings.com. Also, we're giving you a chance to win a photo op with Panthers great Aaron Ekblad and an autograph, which is courtesy of Hollywood Collectibles. For your chance to win, text the word hockey to 20357. That's hockey to 20357, and you are entered to win. And again, if you don't win, you can still purchase tickets. Go to HollywoodCollectibles.com. Aaron Ekblad, he is going to do his meet and greet there on October 28th, which is Hollywood Collectibles is on Sterling Road in Dania Beach. Photo ops and autographs with Ekblad. Check that on out, everybody. And welcome back. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 WQAM. Why are you looking at me like that, dude?
So I was just seeing J-Fig took over for Marcos.
I know. Well,
right?
Yeah. I was like a scram. What was going on there?
I was looking for scissors.
And
that's why I was
right. Wait. So not to mention you were looking for something that has nothing to do with the show.
No, what?
He's cutting out a picture of baby tadpole to put in the background like it's PTI.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Decorations.
Hey, so,
didn't you like have an awareness of how much clock was left?
I mean, look, there's one pair. You go to the mailroom. There's 33 tape dispensers. There's 22 staplers with only 15 staples. No scissors. Dan Day has the only pair of scissors in this entire building, and it's hidden in a locker.
He don't need them.
I was hoping
apparently he does.
You need to keep Dan Day away from sharp objects.
I don't know. He keeps it in his locker right next to the dartboard of doom.
That's what I need to do with pens.
Keep them in your
locker. My house. They go like nobody uses pens yet. Every time I buy a pack of pens, my pens disappear. So whenever I have to write a check, right? Well, which you never write checks, but
yeah, I was gonna say.
every now and then, you gotta
balance your checkbook.
No, that government, they like checks.
The
government.
Money orders.
No, you can't. No, because then you got to go get cash, and you can't get a money order for that much. All you can get is cashier's check.
Got to stop by the Wachovia on your way home.
I got to have this job just to pay my taxes. Like for real.
The Germany game, according to Red, he thinks the Germany game against the Chiefs literally decides if Miami deserves the throne of AFC Kings or if we're living at the end of the Brady era with Mahomes 2.0.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Is that I'm not willing to put the Dolphins above Kansas City. I'm willing to, but not there yet, to put them above Buffalo. And the only reason why is because Buffalo beat them, right? And that was probably, of all the games that you've played so far, that game was,
Buffalo beat them down. I will say Buffalo, even since that has happened, has suffered some really massive injuries on their defense.
Right, but here's the other deal, right? Why do we not give a team credit for beating the teams they're supposed to beat when nobody else is doing it?
Right.
Right? Doesn't that mean something?
I think right now, like the teams that are, pretty much throttling everybody, because the Chiefs really haven't done that. But I do think the Chiefs should get some respect as
it's amazing that they're squeaking by these games against everybody. It don't matter how good or bad you are.
They've really had the only blowout they've had is I think the Bears game. It's the Bears.
It's the Bears. But San Francisco was beating the hell out of everybody, and then they met Cleveland in Cleveland.
Yeah, the team that I think right now that's beating the brakes off everybody is Detroit and Miami. Like those are the teams.
Well, Detroit just scores a lot, but they need to get better defensively. And I kind of feel the same way about the Dolphins.
Yeah, but they haven't been bad though.
No, they haven't been bad. No,
I think they had their only loss. They gave a lot of points to the Seahawks, but their margin in the last couple of games has been
they're pretty dominant.
They've been great. They've been great.
You know what they look like? Old Philadelphia as far as just being a physical team on both sides of the ball. That's something that Philly or San Fran brought to the table. I just think, and if you want to get to that next level, I think the defense has to play better. And they've shown, I just think that Fangs needs to get into a groove of what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. I think now at times you still see there's moments where they're aggressive and then they sit back. He's just got to figure out when the best time for those moments are.
It would be nice if you could go into a game feeling like, because this has been a pattern now, Giants game notwithstanding, but like the Bills game and even the Carolina game, like, damn, you were like in a hole. You have to get off to a track meet immediately. And Dolphins were able to like at least keep their head above water with Buffalo up until the start of the second half.
You needed the defense to get a couple of stops.
Yeah, and that's hopefully coming together, because I do feel like Wilkins and Sealer are playing a lot better. I felt like Chubb played a fantastic game this last time around. We know that Jalen Phillips is getting healthier, but I think that line is getting better. I do. I mean, I agree there's still questions with Eli Apple, but that, I don't know what's going to be fair to expect out of Jalen Ramsey when it comes back. But if he's going to come back and solidify that spot, that's going to be very exciting for this team to have.
Here's what you need. You need 85%, 90% of Jalen Ramsey, not because of his physical ability, but because of his talent as a cornerback. He knows all the little tricks, the reads, and things like that. So he'll be in the right position. He'll be in better position than a lot of these guys who are younger won't. That's what a veteran can do. Eli Apple is a veteran, and he has some of that, but he still bite the cheese. He still go for the cheese every time. Oh no, here's that cheese. Whoop, whoop, double move. You gonna get him.
Does bite the cheese look like he's in a rat trap? Is that what happens, or is it like mouse trap where like the cage comes down?
No.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, like an old school wooden one.
When that slant go.
Oh man,
the cheese. Yeah. Oh no, help.
A couple of years ago, we had a little nasty rat problem at the Tobin household, and when you heard that, rat got.
What about your animals? Your animals didn't Senor Gato?
Senor Gato's a waste, dude.
Okay. So you gotta talk to him and say, hey, you mind? This is your area.
I will say the rats were a little bit in his weight. He's not a very big cat. These rats were in his weight class.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, what?
They were like tree rats, because apparently like we had cut down one of the ponds.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Tree rats. Yep. Like river rats, subway rats. They are everywhere.
Hey, we got rats in New Orleans that are bigger than Senor Gato.
Oh, swamp rats.
No, neutral rats. As Dan.
Those are like muskrats.
As Dan say, what's a neutral rat?
Yeah, so these rats were living in the tree apparently.
Who has anybody heard? Wait, well, hold on. Has anybody heard of a tree rat?
No. Dude, I got a whole breakdown of this from the rat trappers. They do. The rats live in trees. They do.
So they're bigger?
Well, these were hulky rats. They were. And there was two of them. One was living in my grill, because at one time I put on the igniter, ran out with his little rat ass on fire.
Did it scare you?
Fuck yeah.
What?
It's a rat with his ass on fire. Of course it scared me.
It's a burning rat.
What is wrong with us today?
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's great. Alrighty.
Wow. The aggression with you.
What?
You took me right back to that spot. I thought about his little rat caboose on fire.
Oh
Wow.
So yeah, it did. And then I found out that the rats were getting through. You know what they got through is the dryer vent on the outside.
Oh.
So they apparently they were able to move it. So I had to put up a whole new dryer vent and like make sure it's rat proof and all that stuff. But yeah, we had a because it was, dude, you know how I knew? One time there's just this smell. They ate something. Like I guess the rat ate like laundry detergent or something like that.
Oh no.
Dead rats stink. I was like, where is that smell? And then
rats off a grill.
All right. Well, hopefully I'm not Shots fired. I'll be back after this.
Rats off a ship.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy taking you up until 2 here on the show.
You know what I love?
What's that, buddy?
I love when I go to the messages
Yep.
and people have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Nixon Jean-Baptiste. I have to do this job simply to pay my taxes, said Leroy, while most people work to take care of their families, to survive. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Okay, moron. I didn't say that for any reason other than they don't pay us enough. That's it. That's it.
Guy got upset.
Everybody got it but you.
Yeah.
Everybody got it but you.
Lashing out in the Twitch chat. That's
That's not tough.
Schmeathan is demanding a public apology.
From me?
Yes.
From you.
Yep.
For the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids.
The kids.
Let's
I
hear it.
apologize,
And the
kids.
family.
I apologize to the kids who were listening.
Yeah. And the rat community.
I take pleasure and pride in this being a family friendly show. You know, kids used to sing the Hour Tua song on the way to school when we were in mornings. You know, I apologize.
Now look at you.
I apologize for my potty mouth.
Recently, it's been,
My 7-year-old is shook. Maybe his ass need to be in school. Shouldn't he be in
almost
school?
11.
We were just watching.
It's almost 11 o'clock. He need to be in school.
We were just watching on First Take. They're debating right now MVP.
You only work for 4 hours. You know what? I had this argument the other day. You know, when we go places sometimes, people will come up and give their hot takes on the topics that they're prepared for.
Yeah.
For the whole day. But I promise you, we come in here every day and have no idea what the hell we're going to talk about. There's talking points, but it could go anywhere.
I know what I'm talking
I didn't know we were talking about rats on the grill.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Tree rats. Like, you don't know. So for people to think that it's easy to just come in and have random conversation for 4 hours while sounding smart about the things that people want to hear about,
Smart.
we got to sound smart.
Oh.
I didn't say we were smart.
Well, TC last week, I saw him in the hallway and he was saying every day this is done for 4 hours. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they talk
considering
once every
they
15
have
minutes.
less time on air over there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
he was out
FMDJ
of
is a
breath,
good gig.
apparently.
FMDJ is
Yeah.
a good gig.
You're once for 2 minutes? Every 15 minutes? Yeah. Okay.
FMDJ, that's not tough.
Yeah.
AMDJ, that's tough.
Although TC did great on the show.
He did
He did
great on the show.
amazing.
Really good.
A lot of details on the Jimmy Butler country album.
Yeah.
Speaking of tough, I saw TVDs. He got a banged up leg.
Oh.
Why don't you sit him down a game? You know, I'm not saying.
What?
I'm not saying the bench. How about you let
Not
him get
this week.
How about you heal him?
And play Clemson?
Heal him.
Mm.
You know what? Mark the tape in
how
case
about-
he
how about-
tries to back
No.
on this.
No. Wait. So you want TVD
Yeah.
to sit out and rest to be healthy,
Yeah.
but then you're the same person that told Messi to get out there and play?
He's a kid.
What did you?
Messi makes $1 gazillion. Everybody's there to see him.
What is
Tyler Van
Wait,
Dyke,
wait.
his professional
It doesn't,
career.
it doesn't matter whether you make money or not. Injury is injury.
Oh, get out of here, dude. It absolutely makes a huge difference. If you're Lionel Messi and you're making $1 gazillion to be the show pony out there, get your ass out there every once in a while. Tyler Van Dyke, this guy's gone out there basically half his career with a banged up arm, banged up ribs, banged up leg. What is he getting? A highlight check? What's his NIL? Barely. I haven't seen many good Greek commercials with Tyler Van Dyke. Yeah, let him go. Let him rest up. Now he's going to go out there. He's going to get slaughtered, and we're going to yell at him. Your kid's a bum.
Okay, so you're doing it for his best interest, is what you're saying.
Now you care about best interest.
He's a
Oh my goodness.
When did
I
he get
can't look
injured?
at you
When did
right
he
now.
sustain this
Oh, we
injury?
gonna have back-to-back cusses.
What do you
I'm just
mean?
telling
I think
Are you
so.
kidding me?
That's what I'm looking at.
I'm
You
doing-
don't care about injuries? You've never. Oh my goodness.
He's a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've acted this way the whole time with kids.
When
like
have I
you've
not?
never.
When have I
Like your
told?
last
Trash
segment.
everybody.
When have I told a kid to buck up and get out there? When? You can't name it.
Get Tommy on speed dial.
You're the worst.
That's not tough.
Somebody said my curse meter is at 98%. Nah, his was at 110. He had to like relieve some tension.
You think Mario Cristobal goes to him and he goes, sitting out and resting to 100%? That's not tough.
That's not tough.
Grounded through injury. That's tough. That's tough.
You got to play hurt.
Gotta play hard. Gotta play banged up. What are your feelings say? Your feelings hurt? Guess what? Nobody cares. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Juicy.
Say my feelings would have been better if you'd have took a knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
I'm just saying, dude. Like, you know,
I think it would have been more.
if he's back,
Not this week.
he's gonna go out.
Not this week.
When's the rest?
Huh? After Clemson.
Isn't FSU after Clemson?
After FSU.
That's my point.
That's life. That's life. You suck it up depending on what team you're playing. That's how it goes. Is that not an accurate assessment? Big game, you got to go. Guess what?
Okay, so you're saying,
You know, let me explain something. I broke my ribs, right, against Minnesota. But the following week we played
so
Ohio State.
they got Virginia after Clemson. Virginia's 1-6.
Okay, there.
Rest against them.
Yeah. That's life. That's life. You ever felt bad and you had to do an interview and so you had to come in?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, how's that any different? How's that any boxed in? How's that any different?
Again, I get paid.
He gets an IL.
Does he?
Look,
For who? Chewing
Everybody
Romania?
wants to be the guy, right? So with being the guy comes these different.
I feel like he's played all of, like the last 2 years banged up.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
I'm just saying. All right.
Because we said the same thing about Tua. We complain about Tua's injuries. We ain't complaining about
He's
nobody
a
protecting him.
professional.
Okay, here. The fact that you played the position and you're a leader on the team, it doesn't matter what level it's at. It has the same description, job description. Depending on who you play, you're going to suck it up a little bit more for this game than you would against Virginia. That's life. It happens.
That's tough.
That's just how it goes. How many times? Wait, how many times have you heard how you feeling, champ? Well, I felt good if it was I'm gonna rest and give it a couple of weeks to rest. But if it was a playoff game, I'd play.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. They lost 2 in a row.
That's tough.
They're going to Clemson. Or is Clemson coming down here?
Clemson's here.
Clemson's coming down here. Yeah. You got to suck it up a little bit more. That's the nature of sports.
Could see Mario Cristobal listening right now. He goes, yeah, Leroy Hoard, he's tough.
Leroy's tough.
Leroy's tough. Tobin, he's not tough.
Nah.
He's not tough.
Who? I'm not tough?
No, I said if Mario Cristobal's listening to us, he's going, Leroy Hoard, he's tough.
Leroy's tough.
So he's not tough. He's
Son
not
Steve says you called TVD a bum this weekend. Is that true?
Oh, that's not fair.
Oh!
What? Dude, that's not fair.
Okay.
You know what? Personal texts are not fair.
Oh!
That's not fair. That's not tough.
That's not
Leaking text. That's not tough.
That's not tough.
Doing?
It was
Go
after
ahead and
after he
see.
threw that pick to right when after he thought a Tar Heel played on his team.
Yeah, it was bad. That was bad. I just don't understand how sometimes he throws stuff like that, and then
One of the
sometimes he
best
has-
throws you've ever seen.
It really is shocking.
But that's being young and playing that position.
Right.
Like,
Tough.
But-
Inconsistency. That's tough.
Doing the same thing all the time. That's not tough.
That's not tough.
That's not tough.
You think I'm supposed to be here? Watch this.
Wow. Stun Steve. I'm not trusting you anymore.
Expose you, dude. I didn't know it was a personal text.
Dr. Tobin say everybody keeps Tobin's receipts. You got to.
Not fair.
Because he'll lie and wiggle out of
There's
it.
supposed to be personal receipts, public receipts. What's on the show is
I didn't
public
even know
record.
about I didn't even know
Receipts
you
are
It
were
wasn't a group text. It was a text between the both of us.
Wow.
Well, you know what? He pulled out that receipt just because he knew you out here with some phoniness.
But like, here's the thing, though. No, I'm not being phony. Like, look, I don't understand. That performance was like, it was mind-boggling. Because again, yes, we saw some of the best throws, and yet then he'll make some that you're just like, oof. But now if you're telling me he's also banged up, so you're going to send him out there banged up, and what? And so if he stinks
know
up,
what?
but hold on, if he goes out there, he stinks up the joint. We do this with Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
If he goes out there, he stinks up the joint. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to think? Well, he toughed it out, but he stuck, but he sunk.
That's the same thing. You know what? What you're saying right now is the same thing I've been saying about Deshaun Watson, is that he knows how injured he is. He knows what he can or can't do, right? And for us to sit here and say he should be playing with this or not, it's not up to us.
But there is a little bit of an element to, and especially in his case, there is an element to. And I don't know if he can play through it, but there is a difference. There is a difference between he has $230 million guaranteed. It's not
And
going to
TVD's
change.
trying to
And
get
Tyler Van Dyke, literally every week he goes out there as an audition for his job.
Right.
for
No, I got it.
what he wants to do. There is a difference.
We've seen many of hell. Didn't one of the Bosa sit out the whole senior year?
Yeah.
Right. We've seen it.
That's not tough.
We've seen it. He still went top 2.
That's tough.
Top 2 in the draft. So look, I get it. First of all, let's be clear. You have no idea how hurt he is. Right?
Mhm.
No idea. So we're making assumptions based on information you don't have.
They don't tell us anything. It's,
Yeah, but what I'm saying from this standpoint, Tyler knows what he can and can't do. Right?
Oh, yeah, with Mr. Macho as his head coach. Oh yeah, can you play through it? Yes, that's tough.
That's tough.
That's tough. That's tough.
You're tough.
Like-
You got what it takes.
Well, he goes to the doctor. The doctor he looks. He says, so can he play through it? Yes. Good. That's tough.
That's
That's
tough.
tough. That's
That's
tough.
tough.
That's tough.
His leg's broken though. but
That happened to me.
That's tough.
Yeah, I know.
I had to go get side x-rays because I couldn't hardly breathe. And they were like, "You can't practice today?" Like, no, it hurts to walk.
That's not tough.
So I went somewhere else and got x-rays and I had 2 broken ribs.
Got to put some popsicle sticks on it. A little bit of tape.
That's tough.
That'll fix it.
Dude, right now,
Yeah.
I have calcium.
Mm.
When they were taking a picture of my heart, they could see the calcium on my ribs.
Yeah.
And they go, "Hey, you have trouble moving? A lot of calcium on those ribs."
Calcium on your heart. That's tough.
That's
No, but not calcium in the ribs.
that is tough.
That's
That's
not
not
tough. That's not
tough.
tough.
No, calcium
Not
on your
tough.
heart. You need to do some
Mm.
stuff.
It's tough. Rat meat on a grill. That's tough. Take a break. Back after this.
Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of Tobin and Leroy. What are you guys doing over there? You guys have like these little powwows on the other side of the glass. You making what was so Frog doesn't feel so lonely? What's he crying over there?
No, did you remember growing up the cartoon? What is it called? The elastics,
You said the plastic.
the plastic, something like the
I've never heard of what you're speaking of.
say because it was a cartoon. Somebody help me out with that. It was
Stretch Armstrong.
No,
Okay.
this dude.
Sorry.
Your contributions are terrible.
I apologize.
Let's get into some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Florida Panthers
Got their first
win
dub.
of the
Let's
season.
go.
4-3 over the Devils. Rhino, Sam Reinhart with a couple of goals.
Nice.
And the Cats got off to a big lead. Devils getting a couple power play goals late to try and make it close, but it was not enough. The Cats leave New Jersey with a victory, and there they go. First one in the books. First of many for your Florida Panthers. They will be back in action on, Wednesday, as they have their home opener against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So looking forward to that one. Congrats to the Cats. Over in the ALCS yesterday, the Texas Rangers jumped out to a big lead, and they held off the Houston Astros. They have a 2-0 lead right now in the ALCS, and that is with them going home. Have the Texas Rangers lost in the playoffs? I don't believe they have, or have not. Yeah, they are undefeated in the playoffs so far.
Investigate them. We know how that whole state does baseball.
You think that they've out-cheated the cheaters?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hard to say. Hard to say. You can't rule it out.
Mhm.
But they are on top right now, 2-0 in their series, going back home, as they have yet to lose so far in the postseason. Meanwhile, Bryce Harper going deep yesterday, Kyle Schwarber going deep yesterday, Nick Castellanos going deep yesterday, and the Phillies get the best of the Diamondbacks. So they win game 1 of the NLCS. They will play game 2 tonight. So
I'm over them.
the Phillies?
Yeah. Sick of them.
Because it's Harper's hair, right?
It's stupid hair, dude.
Yeah.
And plus, all the coverage they got during our series,
It was annoying.
it's annoying.
It's annoying. I'm definitely rooting against them for sure. You know, people, I know everybody was like, oh, Philly, we want the Philly Houston rematch. Nah, give me D-backs Rangers. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Doesn't even sound.
Yeah,
I like it.
D-backs Rangers. I'm all for it, dude. Meanwhile, Miami Dolphins are off today. They'll be back on the practice field tomorrow. They're getting ready for a big-time Sunday night football matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. Dolphins right now 5-1, as are the Eagles. No undefeated vengeance that the Dolphins have to put on for 1972. I thought, did you see this Kyle Brandt? This mother bleeper.
My
What did he do?
Did you
God,
see
dude.
this guy? Do you have that, Marcos? Did
No,
you
I'm
get
gonna
that?
get it, dude.
Get this guy is this Kyle Brandt. You remember him? What Kyle Brandt said?
What did he say?
J-Fig. Did you hear what this Kyle Brandt said?
No, what did he say now?
I'm going to tell you what this Kyle Brandt said. All right. But first, I'm going to need to call 305-567-0560. 305-567-0560. Because this guy, you know what he is, Leroy? I'll tell you what he is. He is an A1 Finn's hater. That's what this guy is.
Oh, so he's a
He's a
bum.
hater, dude.
Oh, he's a hater.
So he's a
bro.
bum.
He is an A1 hater. You know, he sits there, and I know you used to do your little show with Josh Allen. I don't know if you still do anymore. And you do your angry runs, you know, like you know, Kyle Brandt likes to he thinks he's tough. But like I was like, what is this guy's deal? What is his deal? Hey, 560, you're on the air. What's your name?
Hey, Tobin, it's Toboggan.
Hey, Toboggan. You want to know what Kyle Brandt said?
Yeah, I want to know.
All right, hold on, dude. I mean, like this Leroy, like when you hate on one thing, that's one thing, okay? Because you remember he came out and he was like, Dolphins, too cool for school. I don't like the new thing. I like the old thing. I don't like being told what the next wave is, all right? I don't like Google Lens. I don't like any of this fun stuff. I don't like TikTok. I don't like being told what's cool and what's not cool. I was like, all right, fine, whatever, dude. You seem like a bit of a lame, but that's how he rolls, J-Fig. He's gonna sit here and he's gonna be like, I don't like the cool thing, the new thing, You know what I'm saying, RVA Richie? Did you hear what this Kyle Brandt said?
No, but I gotta hear it, man. What did that weaselly, I can't cuss.
Dude, he is a drain weasel. This guy is a true drain weasel, this Kyle Brandt. A true drain weasel, and I'm just tired of his ass. That he gets on this Good Morning Football. He doesn't wish Dolphins a good morning of football. Only the Bills fans. Is it Good Morning Football or is it Good Morning Bills football? What show do you host, Kyle? 560, you're on the air. What's your name?
Hey, what's up? Let me tell y'all something. This is Mike on the mobile.
Hey, Mike.
The Dolphins are good, but the Browns have...
All right, I don't care what he has to say. Anyway, probably a Kyle Brandt fan right there. But anyway, this guy doesn't wish Dolph fans a good morning of football, okay? And that's not the responsibility when you wish everybody a good morning of football. You're supposed to wish everybody a good morning of football. And this guy, he only wants to wish a good morning of football to Western New York. And I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it, and I don't like it because he's already hated once. Do you have the old comments, Marcos? By chance, while you're getting do you have old Kyle Brandt where he's like, roar, Dolphins, because he was so happy that his beloved Buffalo Bills, which he'll claim I'm not a Bills fan, but he is a Bills fan, that he was so happy the Dolphins got beat down by the Bills, not because of, loving the Bills, but because he hated how everybody was on to the Dolphins.
Here's what I like about this game. I enjoy personally in life when we are told that something is the next big thing and it just blows up and crumbles in front of you. Remember those idiots who were telling us we're going to wear the Google Glass as we're walking around? Remember that? Remember ESPN, the phone? I remember Kyle Pitts? All these things, they're going to change the world. No, they ain't. No, you're not revolutionizing the sport. I'm not surprised the Bills have 48 points. The number here is operative is the 20 in Miami. And without Jordan Poyer and with Trey White getting hurt, you're not the next biggest thing. You're gonna be great. I like Miami. They'll be in the thing. 20 points, an absolute blowout. You weren't even competitive in the second half. So don't tell us you're the best thing since sliced bread. You're the future of the sport. You got a nice offense. You did a no-look pass. I get it. I've seen high school kids do that. It's really cool. You have motion. Wow. Everybody has motion. Don't tell me you're changing the sport. You're a good team. You got smashed. Next time, don't wear the emoji t-shirts. I mean, smashed.
All right. So this guy.
This is old.
Yo, I know that's old. That's old. I was. This is what's known as a setup, Leroy, and also getting Marcos time to get the sound. Which, hey, let's go, dude. All right. All right. Look.
So he's got more Dolphins hate.
Now, here's the thing, Leroy. This is why he's a drain weasel. Okay, because at first he goes out there and he goes, "Hey, don't tell me what the new school thing is that I like. I don't like new school. I like, I like new school being put in its place." So yesterday, this mother bleeper gets on his Good Morning Football, and he doesn't wish a good morning of football to the Dolphin. All right. A day where the Dolphins are lighting up the league. And by the way, Kyle, still on a record pace. Okay, dude. So just, mind your P's and Q's. Second of all, he got upset because both undefeated teams went down this week. And what happens when the undefeated teams go down? What do the 1972 Dolphins do?
Drink.
Toast a little champagne,
Toast a little champagne.
They're old now.
We'll get our little bottle from Funky Buddha.
Funky Buddha sends us a bottle. And by the way, do you know who's did you see Zonk? Zonk was at the game with Greasy. They were sitting in the box together.
Right.
Nice little day. So almost you could say it's some karmatic energy that maybe took out the Eagles and the 49ers that day with Zonk and Greasy, Wonder Twins, coming together to make it happen. I don't know. But do you have this drain weasel? So Kyle Brandt, who already told you he hates the new school Dolphins, now has a problem with the 1972 Dolphins.
I gotta say my piece on this. I think it's awesome what the 72 Dolphins did. It's so cool. And especially the fact that they did it when it was just a different league and a different sport, and the training and the medicine, the doctors weren't as sophisticated, and the goalposts were on the goal line. It was awesome. I think it has been marred by how they've chosen to celebrate it. I love what they did 50 years ago. I really don't like how they have spent the last 49 years celebrating other people who can't do it. I was raised on Chris Berman, and I just remember on Sundays, finally, when the last undefeated team would lose, whoever it may be, I remember one time it being the Trent Green Chiefs and just all these undefeated teams, Berman would show the highlight and then go right to the clip of the 72 Dolphins literally toasting champagne because another team lost. It always rubbed me wrong when I was a younger man. It still rubs me wrong now. I just think it goes against everything you do as an athlete, as a coach, as a human being, is to root for your successors, root for them to do what you did, and all the joy that it's brought to your life, that they can have it, and their families can have it, and young fans could have it, and to, secretly say, that's my record, I hope no one breaks it, fine. But to go on camera and literally celebrate another team losing because they couldn't do what you did, I think it's bad form. And I could line up the people, the greats over the years, who have done the exact opposite. You want to talk Oscar Robertson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Gordie Howe, Pele, you name it, have passionately supported, even campaigned for their successors to beat their marks. Phil Jackson even. Warriors, I hope they get 73 wins. Great team. I love Steve Kerr. Steph Curry's. I hope they do it. Even more contemporary examples. Michael Strahan has a sack record. He's begging somebody to beat it. I'd love someone to do it. Justin Jefferson came out. I set the rookie record. I hope my guy Jamar Chase beats it. You know what the worst part is, too? I think the 72 Dolphins, if they had just done their thing and just laid back, they would have this mystique about them, and they'd be cool and chic and like, oh, those are the 72 guys. They never lost a game. They're the only team. They don't talk about it much, but when they show up, it's really cool. And instead, they have chosen this sort of pro wrestling heel meets used car salesman persona. That's their choice. And I really respect that they did in 72. I really don't respect what they've done in the last 49 years since then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you don't respect it. You don't
especially when he wasn't even alive. So he's not respecting something he wasn't even alive.
You don't respect it. You don't respect it. Kyle. Oh, I'm sorry.
Here's the problem. You ready? Is there anything more embarrassing than the confetti falling on your ass in the Super Bowl after you've lost? Like, that's what we do. We celebrate our success. It doesn't mean you're diminishing somebody else's failure or, talking about somebody else's failure, right? When the game is over for the Super Bowl and you start celebrating, you start your celebration while the other team is standing on the field looking stupid.
Yeah.
Take it from me. I had to do it for the NFC Championship game at home.
Yeah, he had to watch the fireworks from his house.
I had to watch the fireworks. Okay.
Look, here's the thing. We've all down even here been like, hey, the Dolphins, who, look, they were at one point the winningest franchise in football.
Hey, there's only one person in these two rooms that was even alive when they won.
Fair point.
So,
but this guy is getting mad because Zonk and Grease are sitting there, little toast, little.
How about they're toasting the fact that it's 50 years ago and they're still with us?
And also, this does have a little bit of a resurgence because yes, did the Dolphins parade the 72 Dolphins out there a few too many Sundays? Oh yeah, they went to that well a lot. But here's the thing: there wasn't a lot to celebrate over these last 20 years. Haven't won a playoff game since 2000. Also, Don Shula died. I think that had a little bit of a resurgence to it too. When he passes a few years ago, that you're starting to realize you're going around these 1972 celebrations. A lot of these guys aren't here anymore.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Kyle Brandt has a problem with history being celebrated because he doesn't think that 72 has mystique. Which, by the way, Kyle, you drain weasel, here's the thing that's also hilarious. You sit here on your Good Morning Football high horse. You say that the 2023 Dolphins, too cool for school. I don't like the new thing. Also, have the audacity to say that the 1972 Dolphins are too in your face because they celebrate tradition, which apparently you kind of respect because you hate the new thing, but you want them to tell you to stop getting off their lawn when you just told me 2 weeks ago that you want the 23 Dolphins to get off your lawn. So are you a traditionalist or do you like new school? Pick it, drain weasel. I want to know, Kyle.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
On the status of terrifying, on the wall.
Yeah.
Tree rat
Yeah.
or drain weasel? Who's higher?
Tree rat's more terrifying. A drain weasel's a it's in the you don't respect a drain weasel. It's in the drains, it's in the sewers, it's in the slums.
You don't ever see a drain weasel.
Yeah, until it pops out its head and has a take on the Dolphins. That's when I hear him. What is that? Oh, it's Kyle Brandt, the drain weasel. I don't like the 1972 Dolphins. I'm trying to picture. I'm sorry right now. Imagine saying the 19s. Imagine telling Zonk you don't have mystique. You don't have mystique, Zonk.
A guy who lives in Alaska.
I get it. Hey, when the Patriots were coming for the record, Mercury Morris was on he's like, I don't want you on my block. Remember he made the commercial with Eli? Eli sent him the football, and Eli says, he goes, here's to your neighborhood staying, solo or something like that. I don't remember the exact commercial, but Mercury Morris certainly was parading around. But you want to know something, dude? The Patriots cheat. They can go to hell. Second of all, this Kyle Brandt, he doesn't like old school Dolphins. He doesn't like new school Dolphins. But let me tell you something right now, dude. It seems to me, you drain weasel, if I had to deduce what was the common property here, my hypothesis is you're a Fins hater, dude.
Hey, wait.
Old school or new school?
I would like to ask Kyle, how do you feel? Like that story being told, you did come over here and take advantage of the Indians, and we celebrate it every year. How you feel about that?
I didn't think that was going to be but I get you.
I was just saying.
That's nice spin.
Tradition, right? Like, yeah. You know what? There's sometimes, and I'll use an old Kane saying, he just doesn't understand, right? It has always been in fun, right? It's always been like we see these guys around town. They interview them and they all have a laugh about it. By the way, it's never been that serious.
Here's another thing, too.
And that room's getting lighter every year.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Hey, Leroy. They got to week 6, dude. Like, let's not act like you didn't even get to double digits, Kyle.
Right.
It's not even worth their time. I don't remember Zonk even Zonk's like, oh yeah, that's cute.
They only really do it when it gets like in deep into like November.
Double digits.
Right.
Out of here.
You have to, like,
we
10,
made
11.
we made it to 10. And then we lost to Tampa. And then they threw the stat at us. At the time, no team in the history of the NFL has ever won a Super Bowl losing to Tampa.
Huh. How about that? Take a break. Back after this.
thought this was Michael Jackson when I heard it in my headset. Just the beat.
They're all stealing. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy.
Can we get an update
from the weather?
Standings.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
We got a new Starfish. New Starfish in the house.
Yeah, it's J-Fig, Tobin, Leroy, 4-2. Frogboy 3-3.
Robbed, dude.
Oh, so we're all separated by one game?
Absolutely robbed.
Woo! We got two more weekends?
Yep.
Why would he pick Chicago?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Stupid.
Setting you up.
But I'm out on Thursday, Friday.
So we got to do the picks tomorrow.
We're doing picks tomorrow.
Oh, and this sucks because the earlier in the week you do them, you don't know what the injury status is.
Yeah.
Does that mean Thursday counts?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had Thursday last week.
We had Thursday
last week.
We're
gonna talk,
you weren't here.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk to Rohan Nadkarni from Sports Illustrated. He did an interview with Jimmy Butler last week, and it was really good. So we'll talk to Rohan, and covers the NBA, South Florida guy, knows a lot about the Heat. So we'll talk to him coming up in about an hour. Looking forward to that. He will join us via the magic of video link, so that'll be fun. By the way, who's also fun is Stavros Halkias, and if you guys want to go win tickets to see him, he is going to be at the Broward Center November 11th. You guys go to WQM.com/contests and check it out there. Try and win some tickets. If you want to purchase tickets or get more info, browardcenter.org/events. It's a beautiful day out there.
It is
beautiful. Brett Romberg would call this fat man friendly weather, and I'm one to agree.
It is a beautiful day. A little breezy, but the sun, you know how the sun gets in the winter where it just seems like it's bright. No clouds. Nice day. Man, this is great golf weather.
Yeah, the weather brought to us by the Demensman and Dover Law Firm. Your accidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call them at 866-954.
Anybody hit the 50s? You probably hit the 50s up north.
We had the 50s. It was nice.
Yeah, I think I had like low 60s.
Beautiful
You
day.
probably had mid 60s down in Cuba.
It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Christian Wilkins, he spoke to the media yesterday, and he was talking about the defensive line coming together.
I just feel like, we're still constantly improving and, working on things and doing our best to get things right and be better each and every week. But just urgency, communication, and just understanding what our jobs are and kind of figuring out and working and understanding how to play together and building that trust, because that's important, when you take the field and, you want to make sure, this guy's going to do his job, or if he does this, then you do that kind of thing. So just building that rapport and that trust amongst each other.
All right. They got that rapport coming down. Him and Zach Sealer seems like they're, by the way, today they're releasing Mike McDaniel, because last week it was Zach Sealer, which basically was Zach Sealer and Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins always in Zach Sealer's microphone. But today, getting released, the second version, Mike McDaniel mic'd up. I'm excited about that.
Attaboy.
Can I just say some of the things that excite you?
What do you mean?
I knew this was coming.
Like,
why wouldn't you be excited about that?
I hear him talk every day.
No, but like in a game environment, dude.
Well, look,
the mad genius.
You're amused way too simple.
You're not, though. Like you should.
Huh?
Why doesn't this amuse you?
Because I hear him every day. And like, first of all, you hear stuff during the game. Half of the time you have no idea the context of it. It's not gonna make any sense to you.
Oh, I'm gonna get it, dude. Listen, we're a couple of sharp offensive minds, me and Mike McDaniel.
Ain't nothing on your body sharp except your nose. That's sharp at the tip.
Yikes!
Very sharp.
No.
Just
Out
saying.
a little,
He put himself in that situation.
I
Talking
didn't
about
put myself
sharp.
in any situation.
Sharp.
Remember, no one
You
could
got a bunch of rounded edges.
Leroy's fat shaming.
I'm not fat shaming.
You just said
That's what he
it.
did.
I think
Exactly what he did.
Can
to
I just say,
Romania?
oh, that wasn't my fault. The guy just happened to be in the picture.
Sure.
You commented on it right away. I was looking at your Romania.
Sure you were.
What do you think? He was running by the camera, Leroy?
No.
I'm sure it took a while.
No, listen.
Mark,
Can I just tell you, I am the smallest person in my family, women included.
So you felt justified your entire life to fat shame, is what you're saying?
No. Listen, it could go either way at any point in time if I start sweetening it up and stuff like that.
Sweeten.
Oh, yeah.
Tell you what, looking pretty slim right now.
That's because I can't eat.
Mm.
I'm drinking coffee and water.
You can't eat?
Just not
Yeah.
hungry. I'm gonna get it though. Don't worry.
Christian Wilkins also was asked about, do you remember Vic Fangio last week? He was saying, maybe he was a little rusty because he missed some camp time. You know, the old don't like missing camp. And
yeah, you want to talk about old coaches? You want to talk about missing a day?
Yep.
Oh no, they don't care about them vet days and all that. No.
Christian Wilkins was asked about these comments by Vic Fangio, and here's what Wilkins had to say.
I don't know if you saw, but last week, Vic Fangio was asked about you and made a reference to the time that you missed, saying he thought it got you a little rusty, but you ran back into form now. Fair criticism? Do you agree, disagree?
I mean, yeah, like, again, that's his opinion. That's what he feels and thinks. But I definitely think, like I said, each week I've focused hard on trying to improve and get better for my team and for this defense.
The old know how to tweak.
I tell you what, my man sounded offended.
A little bit.
A little.
And there is no player on that defense that has a greater motor than Christian Wilkins. He's all over the field. For somebody to say that about him, that probably hit home.
Maybe Vic.
I wouldn't say it because no.
You don't think Vic Fangio is doing a little?
You think Vic Fangio's motivating Christian Wilkins?
What are you talking about?
Little FTL.
He got no contract. That ain't motivation. You think he's just
Pat Riley will call anybody out. Pat Riley will call anybody out.
And you think Vic Fangio's Pat Riley?
No, but the old love to call people out.
Look at that defense. The start of the year to now. What's the only question you have on this whole team?
What's the only question I have on this team?
The questions you have about this team are all around one side of the ball. Because listen, I've always had this thought. When you think of your strengths and weaknesses of a team, the weaknesses the last couple of years have been linebackers, right? Why in the hell would you add another linebacker on the field? Think about that. Let's start there. So he's trying to make this work with the 4 linebackers, and they're doing it in a kind of sneaky way because they're lining up Agba out there and standing him up, and he's a D lineman, right? And they're doing different things and calling it a 3-4, but just putting a Van Ginkels, they putting him out there and call him a linebacker, but he's rushing it as a defensive end.
I think there's only one Ginkle.
Van Ginkel. Von Ginkel. You know what I mean.
Von Ginks.
So, yeah. No. Man, the heartbeat of this defense has been Christian Wilkins. Is that not? Or Javon Holland?
Yeah.
Those two guys.
Sometimes the heart gets rusty.
What?
I apologize. I think my -1.
Yeah, appreciate that.
means.
Thank you.
-1.
Sometimes the
For
heart
show
gets
phoniness.
rusty.
Yes.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Hey, check that out, bro. You should get that checked out. Got too much calcium on your
If you
heart.
got rust, no, that's like, first of all, why you got iron? Wait, hold on. I'm going to type it in. And if they call me sometimes.
We gotta go to break. You're good to research. We got damages done coming up.
Sometimes the heart
Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. We are giving you a chance to win a photo op with Panthers great Aaron Ekblad and an autograph, courtesy of Hollywood Collectibles. For your chance to win, text the word hockey to 20357. That's hockey. Text that to 20357. You can win. If you don't win, you can still meet Aaron Ekblad at Hollywood Collectibles on Sterling Road in Dania Beach on October 28th. Photo ops and autographs. Tickets are on sale now at HollywoodCollectibles.com. Let us get to the damage is done, my friend. Leroy?
Okay, so my damage is done is centered around a problem that we have in South Florida. I don't know what kind of problem, but I know it's a problem because there's no rules for these individuals. The motorized scooter, the electric scooter, electric bike people.
Yeah.
The whole point of those things were for exercise. So you look ridiculous just cruising without pedaling. Also, do you go on the sidewalk? Do you go in the bike lane? Some of these scooters are on the street. Like, they're not fast enough. They're backing up traffic. And so, listen, the damage is, we already have enough traffic. What are you going to be? Where are you going to go?
We
need rules. We need rules for these scooters and these slow riding vehicles. Electric scooter. We have come up with more crap to do less exercise. I just turned on the TV just now. Mm-hmm. There's a machine that you sit at your chair and the legs move without you having to pedal.
Ooh, what was the number?
So you just sit there. It says, good for circulation and this and that. You know what else helps with circulation? Getting off your ass and walking.
Damage is done.
J-Fig, what damage is done for you today?
Marcos?
Oh.
Yes.
Marcos wanted to go first.
All right. Well, I'm going to need some assistance on this. Leroy.
What's up?
Hit my music.
He doesn't have the buttons.
Leroy.
What? His music.
Hit my music.
Bum from the three. Bum from the three. Darling, it's better once we get rid of this bum from the three. If I was Steph, I'd work all day, but I will stand here because I'm Clay. Hall of Fame voting, you must be joking. A bum from the three. This guy's a bum.
What did Klay Thompson do?
It is that time of the year.
How do you went first?
Wait. Yeah. I was like, did we all wonder where we was going with that?
Yes.
Bum from the three, Klay Thompson is back at it again with his shenanigans. His absolute shenanigans. If his career wasn't enough to be annoyed by, then maybe it's his no good, dirty attitude now that you can be annoyed by. Klay Thompson recently drops a cryptic IG post amid some contract extension negotiations that aren't going as well as he wanted them to go.
Everybody's gotten paid. Steph has gotten paid. Draymond got paid this offseason, and apparently Klay's talks are not going well.
They're not going as well as he'd like them. So now he does what any person who is over the hill and attempting to get more attention on himself does. He goes to the IG and starts posting things. He says that this is the type of energy I'm on all season, and it's a story of him. It's just me against the world, baby. Klay, shut up, dude. The damage is done, man. And I don't mean physically to your body. I mean more to your reputation. Everyone sees you as the big baby you are. The Warriors have had enough. You're going to be a free agent during the 2024 offseason. And good luck finding another job where someone wants to deal with your horrible attitude, Klay Thompson.
Really have been on this Klay Thompson. It does feel like ever since Marcos has started. Now, he did win a championship in the midst of that. But also in the midst of your crusade, it does feel like more people have turned on Klay Thompson, including now the Warriors.
Look at that. He assaulted that woman at the parade, remember?
That was an accident.
He accidentally bumped into her, but it looked like he was angry when he did it.
Matthew.
Allegedly.
Matthew from YouTube. Frogs from the sea.
All right, JV, do you want to go or should I go?
You can go.
Okay, so you got to stop messing with kangaroos, dude.
Whoa!
You gotta stop
No,
messing with
somebody got knocked out.
Well, this guy was actually trying to save his dog in Australia because this kangaroo swole.
Oh.
He was in the water with him, and
In the water.
this kangaroo.
Whoa!
Yeah, and so he goes after him, dude. And so, like, look, he's got to be a hero because you got to save the dog. And you can see that the kangaroo, if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch right now, you can see the kangaroo. I mean, he gives that guy the business. That kangaroo.
Square up.
You got to look at that kangaroo right now. Kangaroos apparently don't get along with dogs because there is that famous video of the guy squaring up with the kangaroo.
That's right.
But look at this. Look at him.
That guy's swole.
Swole, dude. That's like swole-roo right there.
Where's the dog?
Oh, he got the dog out of there.
Yeah, I got the dog out of there. I did read something about that though. Apparently, because of their beef with dingoes, they try to drown the dingoes. They try to like lead them to the water and then like hold them there.
Because dingoes probably go after their babies.
The dingo ate the baby
Really?
too.
Yeah, dingo ate the baby.
First of all,
Crikey.
It's his oldest time.
First of all, where is civilization in this picture? They just seem
Look at the biceps on
look
that.
at
Rude.
that. So he's holding the dog right there.
He's trying to drown the dog.
Poor
Yep.
thing.
He is just
The dog doesn't look. The dog looks like we just playing.
no. The dog's
No,
like, don't move, don't move.
Please,
Be cool, be cool.
Carl,
Play dead.
just move on.
The
Please,
eyes have
please.
panic written all over
Just
them.
let me go.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, this dog is.
I mean, by the way, look at the
I do
biceps on that roof.
Yeah, that
Goodness!
root is jacked, dude.
He must have
Very much
just.
so.
He must have just got off a cycle or
Guy
something.
says, before getting in the mercury water, Mr. Maloney took out his phone. This is from the Australian Broadcast Corporation. Of course. Before getting in the murky water, Mr. Maloney took out his phone to record what happened. I thought, I've got to get video of this because no one is going to believe this. Now the footage has gone viral with millions of views across social media. Maloney said he had a bit of a tussle in the water with the kangaroo. Quote, the kangaroo basically looked like it was about to kick out its legs at me and splash some water in its face. I tried to take it off, but it had another go at me as we were leaving. I got my dog back. That's the main thing.
Wow. Damn, that's scary because I don't know. Like I can't even see his legs coming.
Oh, no, because they don't. Yep, I've seen many of people.
Look how swole
Look
that
at
guy
that.
is, dude.
He's, oh, you want some of me? I've been lifting, dude.
Did you redo?
God. Why are their upper bodies so? That's true. Why are their upper bodies so strong? Why does he have so much muscle definition?
Because humans try to box him.
I mean, like, just
so they've been getting work in at the gym.
that's a tall root too, dude.
Yeah, because how deep is that water?
I don't know. Because there's probably like some saltwater crocs in there too.
No, it can't be
So
that
wait,
deep.
so that's the dog he put under?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And why was he way out there? What's the dog messing with him?
No, he dragged
Who
him.
knows, dude? I don't know.
It's not like he was showering and the dog was like, "What are you doing over there?" I don't know, man. I think he dragged him in there. Dude.
Another reason why I'm not going to.
It says, of all the things that can interrupt a peaceful morning walk, how likely it is that you'd find a jack kangaroo with your dog in a headlock?
Oh no.
Mick Maloney was stretching by a log near the Murray River this weekend when he lost one of his dogs. I looked towards the river, and behind the reeds, I could see this massive kangaroo standing there with his arms actually in the water, just staring at me. After 15 seconds, Hachi, his dog, came up. He was in a headlock with this kangaroo. Maloney said he made a loud noise thinking the kangaroo would get scared and let go of his dog, but that did not happen.
You think that kangaroo looking at them arms is going to be scared of a shoe? You think shoe's going to move that kangaroo? Get out of here, right? Like we do that to animals. Can all animals hear?
I don't know.
That one had big ears. That one can.
Crazy.
That was scary, dude.
That was crazy. J-Fig, what do you have for damage?
Shout out to his phone being waterproof too. We needed that video.
Like that thing looks like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
Look,
That's intense.
hey, if you cussed about a rat, just imagine what you would do if you walked up on that.
Australia, dude.
That's why, listen, not for nothing. People that say, like, you like going out into the wild like that. No,
Not
I'll
for you?
pass. No. Why?
He's
What
not
you going to do?
taking-
See,
Zeus is bigger than him, though.
no, here's what you want. You would go up and mess with him.
I mean, if he
No,
had,
you would go and mess with
if
him.
he had my little sunny bun.
No. If he didn't, you're like, oh, Tommy, look at the kangaroo. Let's go mess with him.
No, I'm not gonna, because that kangaroo doesn't have a pouch. It's a man kangaroo.
He got a pouch. Just got.
I'm terrified
it
just
just got
staring
some-
at it.
he got a pouch. It just has other things in it.
Did you redo? What do you have, J-Fig, for Damage is done.
Well, earlier this morning, the damage was done to children everywhere.
Oh, wow. That's right.
And there was two of them. One was living in my grill because at one time I put on the igniter, ran out with his little rat ass
did it
on
scare
fire.
you?
Damage is done, my
Damage
friend.
is done.
Guys have been some potty mouths this past week.
I know,
Holy
man, I know.
smokes.
We've been racking them up.
Well, at least a burning rat got him. Hey, Solana got me.
Same thing.
Pretty close.
Same thing.
Man.
All right. That is damage is done. We will take a break, get you caught up with your headlines, including a little cat talk. Back after this.
Damage is done.
I'm telling you. No, it's not.
I think you're wrong on that.
Hold on.
Red Solo Cup.
Hold
you're
on.
Saying,
Time out.
You're
Time
saying
out.
not. Hold on.
Time out.
You're saying Intangibles doesn't have claim to Red Solo Cup.
No.
I think you're wrong.
No.
They have a song.
Red
Toby
Solo
Keith. Red Solo Cup.
But I think it's a country thing, a southern thing.
Okay, well, now we're quibbling. You
But
boxed
it
us
ain't.
out.
No, it ain't. Listen, that ain't your thing.
Just because
Toby
venture,
Keith
I would venture to say I've drank out even in my lack of years. I've come
No, but it's a college thing too. It was never so close.
Yeah, but I would say I've drank out of way more solo cups than you have.
Oh,
way more.
Yeah.
What?
Way more. Not even close.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
Are
me?
you kidding me?
Do you guys?
You know where I'm from? You could drive around with liquor-filled Red Solo Cup. That's all it was in my car. We go to the country. It's like an hour and 30-minute drive to go to Hattiesburg,
You're
Mississippi.
trying to say you get more solo cup than I
my
get solo
dad
cup?
would not leave the house without his road drink. What are you talking about?
Or was it a Red Solo Cup?
Yes.
This conversation literally started because I have a coffee cup.
Well,
in my
no,
hand.
I don't like the fact that he said that's the Intangibles version of a solo cup,
this-
which is not true. Okay, I'm Intangibles. I've never seen one of those.
What is
Second of
that?
all, I've drinking out of plenty of solo cups, regular solo cups, and I don't feel like that has a listen. We have a lot of divides in this world of race. I feel like the solo cup crosses paths. Even though Toby Keith did sing a song about it. Red Solo Cup, I fill you up. Let's have a party. Speaking of, we have a pair of tickets to Stars and Strings to give away. We'll do that at the end of this segment.
All right.
So keep on listening for that.
What is that, a Red Solo Cup?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't remember. You guys, I bet you guys don't even still use Red Solo Cups because you guys changed. You turn your back. You're the man
what are
now.
you talking about? Right now in my kitchen is
Same.
piled up to
I've
here.
never seen you drink out of a Red Solo Cup.
Never.
What?
Never. I've been to your house plenty.
All the
Yeah.
time. What? All the time.
Dude,
Never.
Well, not
way.
if I'm drinking.
Never.
If I'm like drinking this in the can, I'm don't
You're
pour
not
it in
even
the
a
cup.
beer drinker.
No, look, sometimes
Look at
I drink
that.
the Angry Orchard.
Out of the can, though.
Is that really beer?
That's cider.
It's a
That's-
cider.
He
That's-
drinks his cider from there.
I like
But
cider.
I don't drink beer. No.
But I have a
Except
keg.
for the
What if we do a keg show? All right.
What?
Keg
What do you
show.
mean by
Have
that?
a keg show. We'll have a keg in here. We'll just start pumping each segment and have a keg show.
I don't.
Can we get cider in the
You
keg?
just talk about bringing
Yeah.
a keg. You can't just.
Why not? Pony keg.
Nobody's
We
gonna
can
be
do
here.
that.
Yeah. Look, I'm not against it
Do
necessarily.
we have to get the hold on? If you get a keg,
Gotta
you have
get
to
a
get the
bucket.
big bucket
Of
with
course.
the ice.
Yeah.
Ridiculous
You have to.
question.
We can do it on a. What you doing on a Friday?
Yeah. Well, not this Friday, but the next Friday. Let's do it.
Keg show.
Little
Pre-Tobin party for Tobin's birthday.
Oh, a
Aw.
B-Day party.
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, man.
Or it's Solo Cup.
So we go.
I will you.
I think we. Nobody will be here on Friday, right? All right.
I mean, if you want to have more people here, we can have it on Thursday. I don't care.
No.
He's
No.
not going to do anything. We're more of a ask for forgiveness type of crew, you know? Or it's Solo Cup. I mean, I can just bring a 24-pack if you just prefer that.
No, it's the aesthetic.
It is the aesthetic.
It's the
It's
aesthetic.
the aesthetic.
Keg stand, anyone?
Although, what time does a keg store open?
Barry's pretty close by, right?
Time
Or
does
do
the
you have to
keg
get
store?
it? Wait, can we just have one delivered? Uber. Uber.
They got
Eats?
kegs downstairs.
It's becoming too complex.
Oh,
And
No,
now I
it's
just
not.
want to sing Toby Keith.
Red
Solo Cup. I fill you up. Let's have a party. You know who's having a party last night?
Crowder's better said mid-show kegger. I see nothing wrong.
Well, let's listen to a little bit of Doug Plagens last night, huh?
Oh,
Oh yeah. By the way, I
Oh.
finally met Doug Plagens, and I was taken aback by the voice in the body.
He's got a great voice.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Your face said it all. You're
Were you expecting like a
I don't know. I didn't know. I just saw.
burlier, you know, he's got a lean look to him.
Like a Mike Inglis. Love that guy though.
I'm just saying, like, it just caught, sometimes you talk to somebody forever or you see them or you hear their voice and then you finally meet them and you go, If people say to me all the time, I thought you were bigger.
Yeah.
Because of the pads.
Pads.
Right.
Let's start it off. First period, minutes into the game. Rhino, Sam Reinhard getting the goal, lighting the lamp.
And the puck played inside the Devils' zone by Sam Reinhart. Handled by Siegenthaler. Winds it around the boards. Kept in by Barkov over on the far wall. He's met by a couple of Devils there. Puck pop free. Rodriguez has it. A shot. Tipped and they score. And the Panthers are on the board. Sam Reinhart out in front. May have gotten a piece of that. 1-0 Panthers. 3:54 into the action.
Should mention
he's early season form.
Yeah.
That excitement.
Game
it
three.
just
It's game three,
right.
no?
Game 3. I expect. Because, he brings.
Doug Plagens is, he just got on a Stanley Cup final run,
All right, I see.
Got to work
Okay.
your way up. By the way,
he's 0-2 too?
he's
He's
now
0-2.
they're 1-2.
Okay, yeah, I would say he's 1-2 also.
Well, listen, I should mention, by the way, Cat Talk brought to us by our friends over at Celsius.
That's a good flavor.
Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when
No.
it's game time. Make Celsius part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of Florida Panthers.
You got to get that fruit punch.
I know. I didn't feel like walking.
All right.
I got to walk and,
Wait, who's pouring it into the red Solo cup?
Oh, that'll be
Red
Solo Cup.
Now, can you drink? Here's the thing. Here's another reason why I don't drink beer.
Nice.
That's a massacre if I've ever heard of it.
Here's another reason why I don't drink beer. Because when you pour it in a red Solo cup, it gets warm too fast. So I like stuff I can put ice in my Solo cup. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't drink it out of there.
Do it again, Marcos.
Lashing out.
I'm not lashing out.
You know what we should do, though?
What should we do?
We should get Swaggy, because Swaggy had a goal from Matthew Tkachuk. Carter Verhaeghe lighting the lamp.
Pass straight on off the stick of Jesper Bratt. He'll continue in after it. Puck play down to our right. Balinska's had his man tied up. Mahura near side. Tkachuk flips it out through center and got by Brendan Smith. Verhaeghe in. Backhand top shelf. He scores. Carter Verhaeghe picked that one up, dashed in, and he beats Vanacek upstairs with a backhand. 2-0 Panthers.
Yeah, dude. Upstairs with the backhand.
Oh, love it.
It's crazy.
Then the Panthers, they weren't done. Scoring 2 goals, that's not tough.
No.
Scoring 3 goals, that's tough.
John Marino has it for New Jersey. Buys some time and space. Bank pass near side. Gave it away at center. And the Panthers are back into the offensive end. Verhaeghe bounced to Kulikov. Right circle, Tkachuk in front. They score. And it's Nico Mikkola cruising in from the point. Jams it home. His first as a Panther. And the Panthers take a 3-0 lead with 8:42 to go here in the second.
The Mikkola Bear getting it done.
Oh, Nico.
First Panthers goal as he comes. Oh,
wow. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm fine.
She's just really happy.
And we'll get one more here as Sam Reinhart. He wasn't done.
Here's Barkov into the near circle. Out to Ekman Larson at the line. Backs up. Long shot tip. They scored. It's Sam Reinhart on the power play. Got a stick on that. 4-0 Panthers.
There you go. So they scored 4. Then Devils scored 3 unanswered. That wasn't enough, though. They ran out of time with their stupid power plays.
So many power plays.
The Panthers, they are now 1-2 on the season. Home opener coming up on Wednesday. That is your Cat Talk.
Which is, but by the way, the NHL should apologize to the Panthers because in every sport, your 2 teams,
2 conference champs,
your 2 conference champs are supposed to start at home so that you can even lift the banner or reward those fans for opening day home game, right? The fact that there were 3 games on the road as the Eastern Conference representatives is a joke.
Would you? We've been talking some Canes. Braxton Berrios yesterday, of course, is off to a nice start with his Dolphins career. It's some big catches.
Yeah, he seems like he's that kind of that security blanket, that go-to guy.
Does he?
That intangible,
But of course, they had to get yesterday his thoughts on where things stand with the Miami Hurricanes. Canes great. Here's what Braxton had to say.
I got to ask you about the Canes. What are your thoughts on the state of the union right now?
You're gonna video this after that as well. It's tough. It's tough. You had a brutal loss 2 weeks ago, and they had a good first half up in Chapel Hill, and then kind of lost it from there. But I do have all confidence in Cristobal, and they're going to figure it out.
Were you watching the brutal loss 2 weeks ago?
Honestly, I was not at the end. My dad was on a flight. He was coming down for our game, and so I woke up to a text from him. and that's how I kind of found out he was not happy. And so I looked on Google what happened, and pretty stunned.
Was it a good thing that you weren't watching?
It was absolutely a good thing. I was focused on my own game, and that might have thrown me off a little bit.
That would have.
Isn't that how you found out about the news?
Yeah, same thing.
Cool, rough.
Same thing on my phone. I wait because as soon as Cheney had the helmet ripped off and the bounce, I'm like, oh, I got this. Good night.
Yeah.
Had to be up for the game day uncensored.
Yep.
And wow, I wasn't expecting to wake up to that. Certainly wasn't. Meanwhile, on Tyler Van Dyke, he apparently is a leg injury, but he is good to go. He is going to practice. This was Mario Cristobal not really addressing the injury.
Oh, okay.
I saw Tyler Van Dyke coming in here with his right leg completely wrapped in an ace bandage and limping heavily while his right leg is completely still. So he's obviously injured. What's his status or what's the situation?
Well, Susan, I keep telling you I don't talk about injuries. I just told one of our guys that he's ready to go. So you have to write what you have to write. And next question, please.
So
answering questions. That's not tough.
That's not
dodging questions. That's tough.
That's really tough.
That's tough.
he didn't even dodge it.
Dismissing questions. That's tough.
He just dismissed it.
Dismiss your question.
I mean, I don't never have a problem with like you're looking at the obvious. Dude's walking around with a straight leg.
This isn't like asking about you guys aren't keeping it secret exactly.
Right,
I mean, his
right.
leg is wrapped. Is he okay? I don't talk about injuries. That's not tough. We bury that down just like your feelings, because that's tough. That's tough. Take a break. We'll hear a little bit from Mike McDaniel. 50 minutes of game day.
A little bit. You ain't never heard a little bit from Mike McDaniel.
Welcome back in, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Get some more headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
We do know trucks. Miami Dolphins are off today. They'll be back in action this weekend. Of course, Sunday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a great matchup. Eagles losing this past week to the Jets. Going to be a hostile environment the Dolphins are walking into. There's going to be the haters out there like, oh, the Dolphins haven't beat anybody. Look, they're beating teams down, dude. They put up a 70 burger. You have the Bills are in a tickle fight with the Giants on Sunday Night Football. You had to cheat to win, and the Dolphins beat the Giants by a gazillion and knocked out their quarterback. So, I get it. The Dolphins in their one matchup against the Bills, they got smoked in the second half, but I think it can be said that the Dolphins are a good team, but I definitely would like them to do it against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. I think that's going to definitely put a potential statement game this week.
Mm-hmm.
There's some fun in that, but Mike McDaniel, even with all the victories that are piling up, was asked about the idea of Victory Mondays yesterday, and not really a fan of them.
You hear me say it's putting your money where your mouth is when you talk about the development of a team during the season and getting better. You hope that players, you create an atmosphere where you don't it's more not about avoiding the building for a day, or not doing that and making sure that we're getting better. That game tape there's nothing more valuable. I think that prioritizing that, Victory Mondays end up meaning that you take some of those learning lessons and you put them on the day that you're starting the game plan for the other opponent. We do it at times when we're robbed of sleep and, guys need some time to sleep in, but outside of that, it's too valuable of a teaching tool in our minds and really my mind that you want to get better from so that your best football is at the end of the year.
I mean, so they're just watching film on Monday, basically, right? Just going over what they're doing.
You come in, get a workout in, watch film, then go out on the field and just kind of work some lactic acid off, right?
Love lactic acid.
Like,
I don't know
What? What?
Dude,
It's that rust on your heart.
and you kind of just go through that, and then that's it. So it's nothing strenuous, but I get what he's saying. He's saying it's first of all, it's too early.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that we never did that until November, December, because you're still at a pivotal part of the season where you're still growing, you're still trying to figure stuff out.
Right.
And I'm looking at it now like, you want that defense with free time?
No.
Let's get it all squared up, so yeah.
Especially if Fangs wants to tweak some attitudes, You'll love to tweak an attitude.
Little FTL.
Yeah, Fangs tough love. And then, of course, I think Mike McDaniel also subscribes to the fact is that, you cheat the game, the only one cheating is cheating yourself.
No, okay,
Dude,
no,
don't come back with this.
no.
Nonsense.
I think that's basically what I heard of him saying that, though.
A lot of cheating. Cheat the game, cheat.
Yeah, the only one you cheat the game, the only one you're cheating is cheating yourself.
I think the last one is the one that is unnecessary, if I'm not mistaken.
One guy who's not cheating the game, that's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Unless there is something in those IVs. I mean, it's tough to know. Maybe superpowers. Maybe. But this was Mike McDaniel being asked about Tyreek Hill's constant cramping with the IVs.
No, I think it's something that we've tried, we've tooled around with. He's as accountable as it comes. He really takes that C on his jersey serious with being a captain. So he's trying to, be hard and proactive. And I'm sure he's right. I know that, he's a high octane athlete that we've been proactive with some of the IV measures as well. And, it kind of, I think it's kind of game related when you go a bunch of spurts where he's doing some very explosive things. It seems to come up. We'll continue to try to get ahead of that because we prefer when he's on the field and not off of it for sure.
It is.
Thanks, Mike.
I agree.
Good talk.
I agree. Which is why Stephen A. Smith has his name as the MVP today.
Kinda.
What do you think he needs? More
He
Pedialyte?
he kind of named him the MVP while saying
Tua
that
only
he's
throws
throwing
2-yard
2-yard passes.
That was
and
garbage.
Tyreek does the whole thing.
That was garbage. Which
So-
it's funny. It's one of these things that
Did he throw like a bomb?
yeah.
Like,
First of all, it's not true, right?
No, it's not.
First of all, it's not true.
But that's my whole point, that we're sitting here having these conversations about things that just aren't
Yeah,
true.
it's not true. Tua is not just dumping it off to Tyreek Hill and things are happening. I mean, those plays have happened, but like it's also ignoring the fact that Tua and Tyreek basically throw bombs to each other all the time. Well, I guess Tua's always throwing bombs to Tyreek. The other way around would be cool though if they did it once.
Although I did see something. Did you see the practice footage that came out recently? Jalen Waddle throwing and Tyreek throwing?
Well, Jalen Waddle was a high school quarterback.
Yeah. Somehow, though, I think Mike McDaniel even addressed it and threw Mike White under the bus and said that, essentially what Mike McDaniel was saying, that players are always going to be seen practicing things. That doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily do it. He said you may see Mike White, returning punts in practice. Doesn't mean he's going to do it. Mike White was very offended by that.
Mike White was like, geez, caught a stray. But focus on not throwing pick sixes, Mike White.
Yeah, I mean, geez.
No, but I would say with this situation with Tua, like, okay, if you want to make the case for Tyreek Hill being the MVP, I am all for it as someone who likes to watch this team. I think he's got as good a case as anybody will if he especially gets on a record pace. How do you not consider that for MVP? But don't do this thing where we're going to sit here and talk about Tua does nothing but dump off the ball to him and he just goes.
Right.
And I don't even really know what that does as a service to Tyreek Hill, because are you saying that Tyreek Hill blowing past everybody wide open because he's faster than everybody else is less impressive than him just taking a ball 2 yards and taking that to the house? Because I think one of the things that's a marvel with Tyreek Hill is, oh my God, so open. Oh my God, one-on-one, nobody has a shot against him. Like,
right.
That is what's
But
so much fun to watch with him.
See, everybody looks at it as Tyreek Hill just running by somebody. The most creative part or aspect of this is that they're getting defenses that are trying to double Tyreek in the single coverage. And that's the true skill of what they do offensively. For example, that safety was supposed to be helping over the top with Tyreek. But because defenders are stupid, soon as Tua looked left, he went to go get a pick without realizing that, your boy's getting got. So it's a whole big picture of how they go about freeing up Tyreek Hill. Like, think about it. Every game that the Dolphins play, what is their goal? Stop Tyreek from making a big play.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's done it except basically the Patriots, because they just sat everybody deep. And then eventually they start throwing the Tyreek underneath. So, does he help? Yeah, but guess what? Stop making it sound like everybody could do what Tua does. Because I've said over and over again, have you seen quarterbacks throw in the middle of the field? They try to avoid it. Why? That's where all the picks are. And Tua lives there.
That's right. Cat burglar.
What? Why do you insist on ruining my hot takes?
No, it was helping your hot take.
That was not helping.
It does too. He's a cat burglar.
If you're helping me, shouldn't I know what the hell it means?
You know what that means? I've said it. He's a cat burglar. He fits through tight windows.
Marcos,
Stop.
stop.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Got distracted.
What?
I got distracted.
You would disagree?
-1 for show poniness.
Stopped him. So, listen. So did the
congrats.
Patriots to a certain
Congrats
extent.
to the Bills. We'll take a quick break. We'll flip things over to the Miami Heat. Sports Illustrated's Rohan Nadkarni is going to join us. He did an interview with Jimmy Butler recently, so we'll talk some Jimmy Buckets. We'll talk some Heat with Rohan coming up next. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. If you guys want to go,
don't mess with Rohan. What? You never seen that movie?
Yes, I think I've seen parts of it.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
If you guys want to go to Stars and Strings right now, caller number 3 to the contest line.
Give us a lineup. Give us a lineup.
567-0560. Caller number 3 to 305-567-0560. A great night of country music. It is going back to Hard Rock Live on November 1st. Your chance to win tickets to see Jordan Davis, Hardy, Brian Kelly, Ashley McBride.
Brian Kelly.
My family.
Not family. He was half a Florida Georgia Line. They apparently had a bad breakup. I was learning about this last week.
Oh, really?
Cole Swindell, who's going to be on Jimmy Butler's country album, and Haley Witters. They're going to be there. So call it 3 right now to 305-567-0560.
Little too much testosterone.
60. You guys will win a pair of tickets to Stars and Strings, and you guys get your tickets at Stars and Strings. Let's say, remember last year we tried to figure out if Jimmy Butler was at Stars and Strings instead of at a Heat game.
Yep.
We never knew.
Still don't know.
We still don't know.
Well,
we still don't know.
He ain't going like.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's. I understand why he doesn't. But his friends were there. Kane Brown was there. I don't know.
I'm keeping my eyes open.
We'll keep our eyes open. They have a game that night too, though, Jay Fix. So I don't think he'll be there. But let's talk to a man who did talk to Jimmy Butler recently. A fantastic article out in Sports Illustrated. There's no one like Jimmy Butler, and a man who is one of the best to cover in the NBA. Rohan Nadkarni joining us here on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Rohan, how are you, my friend? It is great to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here. I mean, Tobin, we sit next to each other.
There we go.
We sit next to each other at the Heat playoff games, and this is what it takes to get me on the show. It took all this time, so I'm just glad to finally be here.
I'm happy to have you.
Big time, like big time.
I'm not gonna confirm nor deny, but it's possible that Rohan and I were holding hands at one point during Game 6 of the Eastern Conference.
Neither will. I will also not confirm or deny.
We cannot. Listen, man, it was a great piece. He's a fascinating guy to interview. It's not an easy interview with talking to Jimmy Butler because he contradicts you. He's a troll. So you've done this, you've talked to Jimmy before, but what was it going into this one? What did you want to get from Jimmy, and how did that all, go with this process, this day with Jimmy Butler, him taking over Sports Illustrated?
First of all, it's such a privilege to get to talk to Jimmy. He's such a funny guy. You said I think it's really easy to interview him actually, just because of how funny he is, how personable he is. He will challenge you, but he'll give you good answers. It's funny. We were at his basketball camp, which I think was at St. Thomas, one of those fancy private schools I didn't go to when I grew up down here. But we were sitting in a classroom, and he was waiting between events, and he was like, "How much time do we have?" And they're like, "Oh, you have a little bit of a break before your next event." And he looks at me and he's like, "You ready to do your interview?" He's like, "All right, man, you're up." He's like, "I'm putting you on the spot." So he will challenge you, that's definitely something that he likes to do. But it's really honestly just a privilege to talk to him. He's such an interesting person on and off the court. I would say that what we wanted to get out of him was not just basketball. We wanted his personality. We really wanted his personality to shine through in this issue, and that's what I'm really proud of, because I think if you're a fan of Jimmy Butler and you pick up this issue, there's a lot of fun stuff in there.
What was the thing that you enjoyed most learning about him this time about?
Just I asked him about his friendship with Carlos Alcaraz, and hearing him, he was like, it's not a secret. I don't like going to All-Star break. If you don't know, now you know. But telling me about how he went to Argentina. He picked Argentina because he was like, I just wanted to see how lit it was after the World Cup. And he's like, they were still having a good time. And he was like, yeah, I went to go watch Carlos play, and really appreciated him as an athlete and a person, and just hearing him, how he likes to just take advantage of the opportunities he has in his life, I think is really cool. I think more NBA players should be like him. I think more people should embrace celebrity and fame in the way Jimmy Butler does. I just feel like he's having a lot more fun than everyone else.
He's he's all over the world. We see pictures of him. He's all over the world. And we don't know why or whatever, but I guess, interviewing him, you probably get a feel for why he went here, why he went there, what he's trying to get out of this. He seems like a pretty fascinating dude, and that there's nothing on this earth that's holding him back. If he wants to do it, he'll do it and figure it out.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it. He's someone who I think he will execute his vision, right? And I think that he's someone who wants to broaden his horizons. I think he wants to be different. I think he wants to go against the grain, and not in like an annoying contrarian way. You know what I mean? I think he just he doesn't want to fall into cliches and traps of what it means to be a basketball player. I think he'll tell you. I mean, he told me, it's in the story. He was like, "Don't let the NBA title fool you. I'm not. That's not just who I am." He doesn't want to be looked at as just a basketball player. Obviously, he's great at it. He takes it very seriously. I got to watch him work out for 2 hours after his basketball camp. This man does not take an off day. I was like, "You ever think about resting? You ever think about sleeping in? Like, you still waking up at 4 a.m. every day?" He said, I didn't get to where I am by resting." At the same time, he's someone who I think just really enjoys life and wants new experiences. Doesn't want to just do all the typical things that we expect from NBA players.
Ron, what was I guess his attitude towards the summer of, like, the whole Damian Lillard saga? And there's a thought, I think, of some people that Pat Riley and the Heat let him down because they're wasting his prime years. He seems to keep just getting to the finish line, but they don't have enough to cross. So I guess what was his attitude of the Dame watch, where they are with the organization, and does he feel like the organization, I guess, owes him getting him some more help to finally get that elusive championship?
I don't think that he feels like the organization owes him. I think that I think he would have been happy to play with Damian Lillard. I don't think that I didn't get the sense that he was necessarily banging the table for the Heat to acquire him either. And I spoke to Pat Riley about it. I asked Pat directly, do you feel pressure to acquire someone to play next to Jimmy Butler? And, Pat was like, if you're making a big move with the way the new CBA is, et cetera, you have to hit on it. And I don't think that he necessarily hesitated with Damian Lillard, but I do think there was a conversation of, are we ready to go all in, second apron, all these things for someone at Lillard's age, et cetera. So I think it was always a little bit more complicated than just going out and getting him. I asked Pat, like, how badly do you want to win for Jimmy? And even then he brought up, he's like, with these new rules, like the second apron, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Like Jimmy, he was like, no one's more deserving than Jimmy. So I think they're on the same page. They all want to make it work. I think Jimmy's tired of people counting him out. And I think that what happened this summer just adds more fuel to that fire, especially where people like the Bucks have overtaken him, the Celtics have overtaken him. I think he's like, I get overlooked every year anyway. Why is this any different?
Right. And he's not, like, it is funny because it's almost like I think every Heat fan was dying for Damian Lillard too, myself included. Yeah. I would have loved Dame. I would have loved. Why are you looking at me like that? But now I'm not doing that. I'm not harpooning anymore. I'm a different guy.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it anymore.
Oh my god.
This was the last time. This is the last
Rohan,
time.
this man is not giving you the full truth.
I'm not.
He almost cried.
I wanted Damian Lillard.
He almost cried.
I did. I wanted Damian Lillard, but I'm not going to do that anymore. All right. I'm not harpooning anymore. I'm a changed man. I'm not putting on the captain's hat anymore until Anthony Edwards. I'm not doing it anymore. So at least 3 years, I'm not doing it anymore. But I do think that they're kind of in this spot, Rohan, where it's like, yeah, everyone. I get the Bucks thing. The Celtics, I'm not quite sure about. We'll see. But this is where they like to be, and they got Tyler coming in on this kind of revenge tour. So what do you make of them coming through? Spo saying, I think that we got more depth. Obviously, there seems to be a pretty big point guard hole, but like, do you think that they should be counted out again, or should we be done doing that?
I think it would be unrealistic to say they're the favorites. And Spo loves to say we have enough. That's, I think Spo, if he's, buried one day, his tombstone will say we had enough. And that's his favorite saying in the world. I think we have enough. I don't think the Heat as presently constructed can be considered favorites. I think they're probably behind Philly as well, in addition to Milwaukee and Boston. But one thing I'll add is Kyle Lowry's on an expiring deal. We'll see how it goes with him to start the season. I think things have been a little bit tense there. But in the event that they do decide to move on from Kyle, for example, we saw last year the Lakers, Russell Westbrook went from unplayable to they attached a protected first to him at the deadline and got back some useful pieces. I think that there's moves out there for them to make. That might not be the sexy move. It might not be the splashy move. You might not be putting on the captain's hat for it. But I think there are moves that they can make that would improve them and get them closer to Milwaukee and Boston. So I think is presently constructed. I'm not. I don't think you can call them the favorites. You can't count them out. But I think this team can't really be judged until the trade deadline.
The incredible thing about all this is we talk about how good Boston is and how good Philly is and how good the Bucks are. But they haven't been more successful than the Heat. And we still keep doing this going into every season. It's like in most sports, we say, until I see these guys get over the hump, I'm not including them. But in basketball with the Heat, we just automatically throw all these other teams above them. And then the Heat do it again and we act shocked. Oh, I can't believe they got past this team again. Why is that? Like, why doesn't the success that this team has had with the same players and injuries, right? Why doesn't that mean anything? And these other teams not chasing the Heat and getting what the Heat have?
I mean, it's a great question. And I think that's kind of been the story of Jimmy the last 4 years. I don't think any team has overachieved more than the Miami Heat. You know, I mentioned this in the story. Think about the summer of 2019, LeBron and AD team up, Kawhi and Paul George team up, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving team up. Eventually, James Harden joins them. Now you got Kevin Durant with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker in Phoenix. You have all these different team-ups happening, yet over the last 4 years, no team has more finals appearances and playoff wins than the Miami Heat. And I think that's all directed to Jimmy. I mean, Bam obviously plays a big role, but I think Pat called Jimmy the straw that stirs the drink. It all starts with him. I think it's because people were not expecting Jimmy to be as good as he is in Miami, frankly. I think people had a lot of respect for Jimmy around the league, but didn't really view him as a top 10 guy. And I think he's unquestionably a top 10 player in the NBA right now, just based on what he's done over the last 4 years. Part of it is just the Heat have shown to be just a different team in the playoffs than what they've been over the regular season the last 4 years as well. They've been a solid regular season team over the last 4 years, but something about the style of playoff basketball, they just turn into a different beast, frankly. So they're a team that makes it very hard to judge, right? I mean, as
Rohan,
much as
they
you can
were
see
the
here
number
and say,
one seed, what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, they were the number one seed. So even during the regular season, they were like, oh, they're the number one seed, but everybody was hurt. Soon as they get healthy, they'll run over the Heat. That's what we heard when they were the number one seed.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I think that people just don't know what to expect at this point from guys. Like, we obviously here in South Florida, we see Gabe up close, Max up close, Caleb Martin up close. But even those guys go to another level sometimes in the playoffs that I think can be very hard to predict. So, listen, it's a very tough team to get a read on. Even this year, I keep being like, well, surely they're going to take a step back, but it's like, how can you count them out? I feel, it's a tough team to get a read on.
I think the thing that's going to be interesting, Ron, is going to be Tyler, because, he seems like he's coming into this whole thing and handled everything with the right attitude. Clearly a little bit of pissed offness, but I think it's almost maybe going to be a benefit to him. What do you think is, I guess, the fair outlook to him? Because he's going to turn 24 in the middle of the year. So it's kind of going from like, baby in the league to like starting to creep towards the prime. What do you think is a fair outlook for Tyler?
Fair outlook is tough. I mean, listen, I haven't necessarily always been the biggest Hero fan. I'm really impressed with the way he handled the summer. I think that showed a lot of maturity. It's not easy what he's been through this summer, not only being bandied about in the trade rumors, but then hearing over and over again, teams don't want you, you're not a good trade chip, etc. I don't think he could have handled it any better than he has. In terms of the fair outlook for him, I'm not looking at, points per game. I'm not looking at all that. I think the two things that are going to be important to me, three things I should say: free throw attempts, 3-point attempts, and defense. That's what it's going to come down to, because he's a talented player. He can score, but can he get to the rim and score more efficiently? Can he shoot? He's such a good 3-point shooter. Will he shoot more threes? Get rid of those mid-range shots. Will he shoot more threes? And at the end of the day, if you want to be an impact player in this league, if you want to be an impact player in the playoffs, you got to be able to play defense. And I think there's a reason why the Heat have looked really good with Max Strus the last couple postseasons in the lineup, because Max, even if he's not a great defender, will hold his own on that end of the floor. That's something that Tyler has not been able to do consistently enough. So I think, to me, it's not even about points per game, et cetera. I think he's highly motivated. There's no question about that. But at the end of the day, he's got to prove it defensively if he's going to be an impact player for this team in the postseason.
Ron, isn't that a Heat staple, though? He said, "Will you come in with a certain skill and we help you develop all the other skills that you are lacking, whether it's defense, whether it's shooting, whether it's ball handling, whether it's getting to the rim." So he's only 4 years in. Like, and we all say that your prime is 26, 27. Why are we doing this with all these young players? That it has to happen now when, if you look at the history of the NBA, it doesn't happen until they're 26, 27.
I agree. Let me put it this way. I definitely think he has room to grow in his game. He's not a finished product. I think the reason why there's such a spotlight on him is because this team is clearly ready to win now, right? So they're asking, they got to put more on his plate. He was such a big part of that first finals run as a rookie, obviously 37 against Boston in that memorable game in the bubble. So it might be a little bit unfair how much is being put on his plate as such a young player. But that's the consequence of being on a championship contender, right? I think Tyler welcomes that. Like, he welcomes that attention. He said over and over again, "I deserve to be in this class of players," and he obviously wants to prove it. I really respect that. But that when you're on a championship team, when you're on a team that's trying to win, that kind of spotlight comes with it.
Talking to Rohan Nadkarni, you can read his article. There's no one quite like Jimmy Butler on SI.com. It's a really good. Before we get you out of here, Rohan, what was the most Goosey's-inducing thing that Pat Riley told you?
Oh, God, there's so many Goosey's things that Pat Riley told me. I'm going to tell you a few real quick.
Now I know you guys hang out too much because you knew right away what Goosey's meant,
Yeah.
and now I'm scared. Now I'm scared.
He told me that I asked him, he had a quote in his press conference at the end of the season about how Jimmy doesn't need a pat on the back for motivation. And I asked him about that. And Pat goes, "That reminds me when Michael Thompson walked into my office in '86 after we traded for him on the Lakers. And he walked right from the desk and said, 'Coach, I don't need a pat on the back to be motivated.'" I was like, whoa. He told me that Mickey Arison called him during I believe it was the 06-07 season. You guys remember the year that they were terrible? They ended up getting Beasley in the draft. He's losing a bunch of games. It's the last year of Pat Riley's career. He says, Mickey calls him and says, "Why don't you just step down and let Spo take over the team? Why are you taking all these losses? You're, Pat Riley, you're a legend." And Pat tells me that he was like, "I didn't want to give the team over to Spo because he probably would have won too many games down the stretch." And then, oh gosh, there was one more. Oh yes, he told me. So I'm going to tell you guys the story, but I'm still trying to report it out. I unfortunately, Spo was in East Asia during a lot of the reporting for this story, so I didn't get to ask him about this. But Pat Riley said the first night that they signed Jimmy, Pat, Eric, and Jimmy were at dinner together. I think some other people were there. He said their first night meeting, Spo and Jimmy got into an argument. And he said they were both heated and they had to agree to disagree. But it's just, yeah, man, they're always on. They're always on.
Perfect.
That sounds like Jimmy, and it sounds like Spo.
Exactly.
That's tremendous. Rohan, thanks for the time, man.
Thanks,
really
Rohan.
appreciate it.
Anytime, guys. Thank you for having me on.
There you go, man. Go check it out. There's no one quite like Jimmy Butler. Rohan Nadkarni does a great job. Go follow
like
him.
you defending the Heat.
I know.
No,
Look at you.
the facts are the facts, dude. I can't just like, everybody has this idea of what the Heat are, and it starts with the people that write about the Heat.
Yeah.
You have the facts. You know what these guys have done, what Jimmy has done. And yet the only thing we've got out of this offseason is Jimmy can't do it by himself. Tyler's not good enough. And we don't do that with young players. We don't do that with Tyler's 24 years old. The guy's already been six man of the year, and we've already dismissed him for all the things he can't do.
I'm just glad you agree with me, dude.
Stop it.
You guys are like samesies.
No,
exactly, dude.
Yeah.
He don't need you, DJ Khaled.
Just saying.
Back up to this.
WQA
If you guys want to win tickets to see nationally known comedian and podcaster Stavros Halkias at the Broward Center. Well, Hey, can we have a rule? It's just as a tag team. Let's just have a rule. If I'm doing a liner and you don't know,
I know who that is.
No. You don't. But like when I say nationally known and you shout out, oh, just show a little more chill, dude. Just a little more chill.
Woo!
Just a little more chill. He is very known.
No, I know who he is.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me what he's in.
Boxing.
Again,
Boxing.
I'd now like to come up with a rule.
Okay.
Then you don't throw me under the bus like that.
No double questions.
Yes, right.
He is very popular. Marcos has had him at the Improv many a time.
Yes, very funny. Actually, very funny.
If you guys want to see Stavros, he is going to be at the Broward Center coming up on November 11th. And you guys can try and win tickets, WQM.com/contest. And if you guys want to purchase tickets, browardcenter.org/events.
You just hit me over the head. Like you just said, hey man, it's partners. And then I'm like, oh, and then you throw me right back under the bus.
I'm just saying as a rule, like let's just say, just let it go if you don't know. Just so you know, let it go, baby.
But here's the deal. It wouldn't be our show.
I understand.
Each time you break the rule, you have to go to the dartboard of doom. Now.
What about him throwing me under the bus?
It is a part of the
Don't
show.
listen to her. She's just trying to get out.
Yeah, she's trying to get. Don't worry. When you're gonna be out there like a starfish.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Do you bury the starfish? What do you do?
No,
that's
Whoa,
you gotta do sand angels.
No,
I'll
How
do
you
sand angels, but
how you gonna do sand angels? You got 5, and only you're gonna have 5 little stars, but
I'll tell you,
2 of them are gonna be legs and arms. You're not gonna be able to move.
I'll tell you who's not gonna be out there when she's out there. The seagulls.
they better not.
Look, a wolf in sheep's clothing. She's out. Don't be fooled by that giant starfish. It's a trap.
Oh man.
So you're in the starfish right now?
No, Marcos
I
is
don't think
actually.
so.
Marcos. Oh my goodness.
I gotta set up, dude. I need to talk to Vlad. But look, I'll take it.
Keep missing days and see how you're gonna get.
Well,
even
tomorrow
more
we got to
set
make
up.
our picks tomorrow.
Sorry.
Now
You
let
know
me
what I'm
tell
saying?
you,
She's lashing out.
as a
She's
veteran of
angry,
this,
dude.
I'm gonna say this: the earlier in the week you do it, the
Yeah.
harder it is to pick it because you don't know who's playing. So it's gonna be like all of a sudden, and we're going by the lines on that day. If somebody doesn't play, the line could
They keep
switch.
changing.
Right. So that sucks.
By
But
the way,
that's
did you guys see Tua using the jiu-jitsu this past weekend?
Oh no, how? What did he do?
Did a roll.
Oh,
Did a roll. Guy knocked him over. Perfect roll.
tell you what though. Also, when he scrambles, he's taking less risks. Remember, he tried to run over a guy last year.
He's taking less risks, except when he finds touchdowns to Tyreek Hill too boring, and he just throws to Jalen Waddle.
What?
Right, did
was
you see that? Tyreek was wide
He was so open.
open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
So it was like boring.
Boring. Let's go back.
Did
shoulder
that
on this
already?
one. That was rough. But hey, touchdown. All's well that ends well.
Yeah, check this out.
Mike White could never.
Oh,
Mike White could never.
Doing a jiu-jitsu roll. That's tough. Look at this. Perfect roll.
Mm.
Perfect.
Pop right back up.
Pop right back up.
Look at that.
It's like a crab.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I saw Gilbert Burns was there. Maybe he was coaching him from the sideline.
Probably.
Mm.
Probably.
Burns.
Our boy
So-
Gilbert.
So Kamara Usman is an underdog?
Dude, he's a big underdog.
Yes!
I'm taking Usman.
I was like
Yeah.
shocked. I'm like, hold on.
He went up, and the line's going up because he wasn't that big an underdog when we did Tapped Out last week. We were talking about the lines. I was like, he's probably going to be like, slight, like what? It's like a plus 230.
Right.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
I think it's crazy.
Didn't he? Now he did. Didn't he get head kicked by?
He got head kicked by Leon Edwards. Then he
yeah.
lost a fairly close fight to Leon the last time around.
So he lost twice to Leon Edwards.
Yeah, he beat Leon Edwards the original time, and then he was winning the entire fight till he got head kicked. Then Leon beat him pretty good in the second fight.
So
And the third
he lost 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different fighter. I mean, you couldn't actually you couldn't get two more opposite fighters than Leon Edwards and Hamzat Chimaev.
Right.
I don't know, man. I like
are you like
Tom's
maybe
not-
they see something that we don't? Maybe he's on the back end, or
I just
you know how it go. You know how it goes in that
it's
game.
possible he's on the back end. I can't rule that out. He's been in a lot of tough fights. He hasn't been in a 3-round fight since 2018. That's a long time.
Yeah. So he's in a 3-round fight this time.
Yeah.
Do you approach it differently? Do you like?
I think it helps.
I
You
feel
don't.
like you gotta.
I mean, he's never had
More-
he's never had cardio issues.
No, but I'm just saying, like when you have 3 rounds, you can't really feel people out
No,
because you can't afford to lose a round. If you have 5 rounds, like you can.
No one's gonna take him. I just like. I guess he's going up a weight class. Who's taking that guy down? Who?
I don't know.
You know,
Is Leon Edwards that good? Because we thought
he's good.
Right.
He's good. But like he beat him good this last fight. The head kick fight, he literally was getting drubbed the entire fight till he made the dumbest mistake you could make.
Right.
You know,
And he even said it.
It was basically like the equivalent of Mario Cristobal not taking a knee. He could have taken a knee
Right.
and won that fight.
Right.
Instead, he got head kicked. The consequences were much greater for his. He lost a championship.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just think, dude, you're getting Kamaru Usman at plus 230.
Pretty good.
Like, but this is, dude, in this game,
Gotta hedge the money line.
this is no.
Sorry.
This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did the same thing with Connor. Like when it starts that turn, right? It doesn't stop. So I'm just curious as to, are we seeing the beginning of that? Where now he's going to lose 4 or 5 fights in the next 3 years.
When it goes,
right?
When it
That's
goes,
what
it
I'm
goes.
saying.
That happens. But a lot of the times, you know,
And he's actually making it harder on himself.
I don't know. I mean, you know, sometimes when you don't have to cut that weight anymore at age, it does help you.
Okay.
You know, he's not a small guy. I've seen Kamaru Usman.
No, he's not small.
He's not a small
Then
guy.
we interview him with his kids. Who was that? Yeah, that was Usman. When he was going to the airport and he
No.
said, "Say hi to my kids."
That was
Who's
Zab Judah.
Zab Judah. There
Whoa.
it is.
That's a -1. That has to be a -1.
No, I knew.
-1.
I forgot who it was, but I know we interviewed somebody that said,
We've
"Hey,
interviewed Usman a bunch. I mean, we interviewed him.
Yeah.
You remember when we first interviewed him? The first time we interviewed Kamaru Usman, he wasn't champion of the world. He was doing the TV broadcast for Titan,
Right.
and we wanted to talk about that Jason Soares fight where Jason knocked a dude out, and then all hell broke loose.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like people jumped into the cage, and a guy had to be resuscitated with oxygen. It was a wild night.
What?
And so we had Kamaru Usman on the show to talk about that. It was
no.
amazing.
I didn't confuse them. I really thought it was Usman. It was somebody else. That's all. I didn't confuse them. They didn't look alike. Come on, stop. What is wrong with y'all?
Take a quick break. Back after this.
WQAM broadcast.
One of the
Welcome
best,
back,
one of the
everybody.
best albums ever made.
Tobin and Leroy here with you. And I'll tell you who's not producing. Murderer. Where's she at?
Where's she at?
She's working on the newsletter.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get her screen. Stop. Hey, Frog Boy. What? Stop. I've touched it twice. Stop getting the screen away.
I got it this time.
Don't touch.
What? Okay. Dude, wait. You know what's funny? Let me tell you what's funny about this.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
He does the same crap.
Yo, he's a fidgeter.
Yes.
I'm not a fidgeter. I'm not supposed
Dude,
to do that today. She's not here.
You're the
and
only.
then all of a
hold on.
sudden,
Nope. You're the only person. We'll come back from break.
I'm not gonna.
You'll be at home,
I'm not gonna listen
and
to
all
this.
we can see
I'm
is
not
your
gonna
lips
listen.
moving.
I'm not gonna listen to this. I'm not gonna listen to this.
He's a fidgeter.
We were sitting
He's
here.
a fidgeter.
We were sitting here. Birder was late to the segment. I was trying to bring us back, and then all of a sudden, Frog Boy decides he wants to be video producer too. Wow. You know, and so all of a sudden, he's clicking. We're doing the thing where we're trying to get into an unlocked car.
Oh,
Who just did that?
I'll punch you in the face.
No,
Really? I didn't do that. Did you just do that again?
That was Leroy.
You think you're funny?
I'm taking away every access.
I don't think you can do that. I know how to get access now.
I will sign you up.
Remember for like 2 years she had it hostage though?
Yeah, I know. She wouldn't tell anybody.
She had it hostage, dude.
She can't do that anymore. Once you have it, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
You're in. That's how it works. It's like Fight Club.
Yeah.
Can't talk about it either.
Yep.
Talking to the engineers today.
Good luck. Write a ticket.
What are we gonna do when you hear it like 7? When you're here at like 10:13 though?
Well, tough luck.
You hear that?
Schmeez 13.
Anyway, today was a fun show. We've been talking about rats on fire.
Woo! What I hear is terrifying. You have been lashing out today.
I've been lashing out.
By the way, mark the tape. The most Leroy has ever defended the Miami Heat.
Oh yeah, you're passionate.
You were.
No, I'm not going to just let him say anything.
I like Rohan
the-
a lot. I think that he is hanging a little bit too much with Chris Mannix.
I know, but I'm just.
I understand they do a show together.
Here's the thing. I don't care about what you think, but you still have to acknowledge what things are. And to not even consider that all these teams who you say are so much better than the Heat over the last 2 or 3 years have ran through all of them.
I'm just gonna sit back and laugh. I'm ready for it this year. Like I can't wait. I know it's gonna happen. We all know what's gonna happen with the dismissing and who everybody's gonna go with. We know that, but it's okay. I'm ready to sit back.
Like
and
I will say this. I will say this, that the trio of Dame, Giannis, and what's his name? Middleton.
Yeah, they're gonna
pretty
be awesome.
good. Plus, they got the terrestrial in the
hope
paint.
It's funny because the series are more competitive between the Heat and the Celtics. Like they always go longer, and the Bucks and the Heat, it's usually a wash. One team wins in 5, one team wins in 4, one team wins in 5.
Which is weird.
But it's always, to me, the tougher series. It's always the series I'm like, oh my God, we got to stop Giannis.
Because now you got Brook Lopez. You're like, it's.
Yeah, but now it's like they have what people are going to focus on the defense, and I get it, but their bigger issue, they got guys who can defend. They got 2 trees in the back. Like that's gonna be, they'll be fine. It's going to be hard to score in the paint against them, regardless. Even when
Dame doesn't have to play.
Even when I know Damian Lillard stinks at defense. That's okay. But now they have this duo offensively that is going to be terrifying.
You think Tyler looks at other people in the league and he go, dudes complain about my defense? Has he looked around the league?
Probably.
Right? Because there's a lot of guys that don't play defense. They're just strictly scorers.
Mm-hmm. Most point guards. Right. I would say, like, if you looked at him, Trae Young, James Harden.
And they always try to get, like, James Harden, Trae Young. They always try to get him in the pick and roll.
Tyler's got to tighten up some other stuff. Like, I don't think that's wrong. I think that the idea that he needs to shoot more threes, it's odd that he doesn't, because this organization usually will tell them to, hey, shoot more. But he has he likes, he's a hooper. He likes to find his comfort zones and places. And but maybe Headband Hero will be different. I will say that the way that he is moving on the court does look like it's got even more fluidity to it, and he was already a pretty scorer. So I am looking forward to seeing what he's got this year. But there is an element too that, like, we know what he can do in the regular season. We know nobody's ever said he's not a good regular season player, but he's had a couple of playoffs where last year was a fluke injury. And he said this as the injury happened. He goes, I know whatever I did in the regular season didn't matter. I wanted to prove myself as a playoff player. He knew that was important. So now we're just left with all this mystery. It doesn't mean he can't do it. We just don't know. So
I just think that, like, we're putting all this on Tyler, but while acknowledging guys don't get into their prime until 26, 27, he's 24.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, like, enjoy the growth. Like, we can't be the people that are so impatient with it.
It is a sensitive thing that the Heat had to dance around because
Yeah, because
you have his age, and like him and Bam are fine. Like Bam and him are basically,
but it's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy
right now. Here, I get what the Heat think. Right now, the most important thing is putting Jimmy in a position to win a championship. We can wait on the other two, right? Because they're not even, again, 26, 27.
Right.
But Jimmy's 10 years older than them.
Right.
So I get putting him in a position right now, but at what cost? You see what I mean?
Yeah, and I think you probably they had their call. Like, I didn't want to trade Tyler for Bradley Beal. I thought that was a little bit much. He's Bradley Beal.
I don't think Bradley Beal's
I
don't think he's worth the trade to be that much of an improvement over Tyler.
Agreed.
Right? And I think that's the thing. You trading assets for a guy who's just slightly better than the guy you traded?
Yeah, Dame was a different story to me.
Yeah.
But now I'm a changed man. So it doesn't matter.
Stop. Why do you have to keep saying that? He ain't here, so you change.
Because I already had people bother.
Because he ain't here, so you change.
I got bothered today with a Klay Thompson. Somebody sent me a whale emoji. I'm like, no thanks.
What?
No thanks.
That's not a whale,
They sent it to the wrong person.
Wait, you're talking to the wrong person.
That's not a whale.
I'm just telling you what I got sent, Mark. I got sent a whale emoji today. I was like, oh,
that's just
who's
blubber.
this? Klay Thompson.
All that is blubber. It's not even the full whale.
He's just used for parts. He's
for
a whale
parts.
used for parts.
He's a carcass. That's much. I'm sorry.
Wow.
That's
Sandman said that's a goldfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Goldfish with a lot of rings.
A lot of rings. Yeah. Why? I mean, man.
He's a Robert Ory of our era.
What?
Klay Thompson is a Robert Ory. Of
Robert
our
Ory
era.
has 7.
Look at that. He's not even as good as Robert Ory.
Robert Ory has 7 rings. Wait, what are you talking about? Robert Ory has never made an All-Star game, All-Star team.
Never had Steph Curry as his teammate. Oh my god. Just saying.
If you guys want to go see Aaron Ekblad, get a photo op and an autograph of Aaron Ekblad, courtesy of Hollywood Collectibles, text the word hockey to 20357. That's hockey to 20357. If you win, you'll get that autograph and photo op. If you don't, you still want to go, you can. October 28th at Hollywood Collectibles on Sterling Road in Dania Beach.
Can I
Tickets
go?
are on sale now at hollywoodcollectibles.com. Ekblad!
No traffic cones, please.
Rohan Nadkarni from Sports Illustrated. He did an interview with Jimmy Butler. He was fantastic with us. If you missed it, he joins us next. be there. But let's talk to a man who did talk to Jimmy Butler recently. A fantastic article out in Sports Illustrated. There's no one like Jimmy Butler, and a man who is one of the best to cover in the NBA. Rohan Nadkarni joining us here on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Rohan, how are you, my friend? It is great to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here. I mean, you know, Tobin, we sit next to each other.
There we go.
We sit next to each other at the Heat playoff games,
Yes.
and this is what it takes to get me on the show. You know, it took
I know
all this time, so I'm just glad to finally be here. You know,
I'm happy to have you on.
Big time, like big time.
I'm not gonna confirm nor deny, but it's possible that Rohan and I were holding hands at one point during Game 6 of the Eastern
yes,
Conference.
yeah. Neither will. I will also not confirm or deny.
We cannot. Yeah. Listen, man, it was a great piece. He's a fascinating guy to interview. It's not an easy interview with talking to Jimmy Butler because he contradicts you. He's a troll. So you've done this, you know, you've talked to Jimmy before, but like, what was it going into this one? What did you want to get from Jimmy, and how did that all, I guess, go with this process, this day with Jimmy Butler, him taking over Sports Illustrated?
First of all, you know, it's such a privilege to get to talk to Jimmy. He's such a funny guy. You know, you said I think it's really easy to interview him actually just because of how funny he is, how personable he is. He will challenge you, but he'll give you good answers. It's funny. We were at his basketball camp, which I think was at St. Thomas, one of those fancy private schools I didn't go to when I grew up down here. But we were sitting in a classroom and he was waiting between events and he was like, "How much time do we have?" And they're like, "Oh, you have a little bit of a break before your next event." And he looks at me and he's like, "You ready to do your interview?" He's like, "All right, man, you're up." He's like, "I'm putting you on the spot." So he will challenge you, like, you know, that's definitely something that he likes to do. But it's really honestly just a privilege to talk to him. He's such an interesting person on and off the court. I would say that what we wanted to get out of him was not just basketball. We wanted his personality. We really wanted his personality to shine through in this issue, and that's what I'm really proud of, because I think if you're a fan of Jimmy Butler and you pick up this issue, there's a lot of fun stuff in there.
What was the thing that you enjoyed most learning about him this time about?
Just I asked him about his friendship with Carlos Alcaraz, and hearing him, he was like, you know, it's not a secret. I don't like going to All-Star break. If you don't know, now you know. But telling me about how he went to Argentina. He picked Argentina because he was like, I just wanted to see how lit it was after the World Cup. And he's like, they were still having a good time. And he was like, yeah, you know, I went to go watch Carlos play and really appreciated him as an athlete and a person. And just hearing him, how he likes to just take advantage of the opportunities he has in his life, I think is really cool. I think more NBA players should be like him. I think more people should embrace celebrity and fame in the way Jimmy Butler does. I just feel like he's having a lot more fun than everyone else.
He's like he's all over the world. We see pictures of him. He's all over the world. And we don't know why or whatever, but I guess, you know, interviewing him, you probably get a feel for why he went here, why he went there, what he's trying to get out of this. He seems like a pretty fascinating dude, and that there's nothing on this earth that's holding him back. If he wants to do it, he'll do it and figure it out.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it. He's someone who I think he will execute his vision, right? And I think that he's someone who wants to broaden his horizons. I think he wants to be different. I think he wants to go against the grain, and not in like an annoying contrarian way. You know what I mean? I think he just he doesn't want to fall into cliches and traps of what it means to be a basketball player. I think he'll tell you, I mean, he told me, it's in the story, he was like, don't let the NBA title fool you. That's not just who I am. He doesn't want to be looked at as just a basketball player. Obviously, he's great at it. He takes it very seriously. I got to watch him work out for 2 hours after his basketball camp. This man does not take an off day. I was like, you ever think about resting? You ever think about sleeping in? Like, you still waking up at 4 a.m. every day? He said, I didn't get to where I am by resting. At the same time, he's someone who I think just really enjoys life and wants new experiences, doesn't want to just do all the typical things that we expect from NBA players.
Ron, what was I guess his attitude towards the summer of, like, you know, the whole Damian Lillard saga? And, you know, there's a thought, I think, of some people that, you know, Pat Riley and the Heat let him down because they're wasting his prime years. He seems to keep just getting to the finish line, but they don't have enough to cross. So I guess, what was his attitude of the Dame watch, where they are with the organization, and does he feel like the organization, I guess, owes him getting him some more help to finally get that elusive championship?
I don't think that he feels like the organization owes him. I think that I think he would have been happy to play with Damian Lillard. I don't think that I didn't get the sense that he was necessarily banging the table for the Heat to acquire him either. And I spoke to Pat Riley about it. I asked Pat directly, do you feel pressure to acquire someone to play next to Jimmy Butler? And, Pat was like, if you're making a big move with the way the new CBA is, et cetera, you have to hit on it. And I don't think that he necessarily hesitated with Damian Lillard, but I do think there was a conversation of, are we ready to go all in, second apron, all these things for someone at Lillard's age, et cetera. So I think it was always a little bit more complicated than just going out and getting him. I asked Pat, like, how badly do you want to win for Jimmy? And even then he brought up, he's like, with these new rules, like the second apron, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Like Jimmy, he was like, no one's more deserving than Jimmy. So I think they're on the same page. They all want to make it work. I think Jimmy's tired of people counting him out. And I think that what happened this summer just adds more fuel to that fire, especially where people like the Bucks have overtaken him, the Celtics have overtaken him. I think he's like, I get overlooked every year anyway. Why is this any different?
Right. And he's not, like, it is funny because it's almost like everybody, I think every Heat fan was dying for Damian Lillard too, myself included. Yeah. I would have loved Dame. I would have loved. Why are you looking at me like that? You but now I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not harpooning anymore. I'm a different guy.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it anymore.
Oh my god.
This was the last time. This is the last
Rohan,
time.
this man is not giving you the full truth.
I'm not.
He almost cried.
I wanted Damian Lillard.
He almost cried.
I did. I wanted Damian Lillard, but I'm not going to do that anymore. All right. I'm not harpooning anymore. I'm a changed man. I'm not putting on the captain's hat anymore until Anthony Edwards. I'm not doing it anymore. So at least 3 years, I'm not doing it anymore. But I do think that they're kind of in this spot, Rohan, where it's like, yeah, everyone. I get the Bucks thing. The Celtics, I'm not quite sure about. We'll see. But this is where they like to be, and they got Tyler coming in on this kind of revenge tour. So what do you make of them coming through? Spo saying, I think that we got more depth. Obviously, there seems to be a pretty big point guard hole, but like, do you think that they should be counted out again, or should we be done doing that?
I think it would be unrealistic to say they're the favorites. And Spo loves to say we have enough. That's, I think Spo, if he's, buried one day, his tombstone will say we had enough. And that's his favorite saying in the world. I think we have enough. I don't think the Heat as presently constructed can be considered favorites. I think they're probably behind Philly as well, in addition to Milwaukee and Boston. But one thing I'll add is Kyle Lowry's on an expiring deal. We'll see how it goes with him to start the season. I think things have been a little bit tense there. But in the event that they do decide to move on from Kyle, for example, we saw last year the Lakers, Russell Westbrook went from unplayable to they attached a protected first to him at the deadline and got back some useful pieces. I think that there's moves out there for them to make. That might not be the sexy move. It might not be the splashy move. You might not be putting on the captain's hat for it. But I think there are moves that they can make that would improve them and get them closer to Milwaukee and Boston. So I think as presently constructed, I don't think you can call them the favorites. You can't count them out. But I think this team can't really be judged until the trade deadline.
The incredible thing about all this is we talk about how good Boston is and how good Philly is and how good the Bucks are. But they haven't been more successful than the Heat. And we still keep doing this going into every season. It's like in most sports, we say, until I see these guys get over the hump, I'm not including them. But in basketball with the Heat, we just automatically throw all these other teams above them. And then the Heat do it again and we act shocked. Oh, I can't believe they got past this team again. Why is that? Like, why doesn't the success that this team has had with the same players and injuries, right? Why doesn't that mean anything? And these other teams not chasing the Heat and getting what the Heat have?
I mean, it's a great question. And I think that's kind of been the story of Jimmy the last 4 years. I don't think any team has overachieved more than the Miami Heat. I mentioned this in the story. Think about the summer of 2019, LeBron and AD team up, Kawhi and Paul George team up, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving team up. Eventually, James Harden joins him. Now you got Kevin Durant with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker in Phoenix. You have all these different team-ups happening, yet over the last 4 years, no team has more finals appearances and playoff wins than the Miami Heat. And I think that's all directed to Jimmy. I mean, Bam obviously plays a big role, but I think Pat called Jimmy the straw that stirs the drink. It all starts with him. I think it's because people were not expecting Jimmy to be as good as he is in Miami, frankly. I think people had a lot of respect for Jimmy around the league, but didn't really view him as a top 10 guy. And I think he's unquestionably a top 10 player in the NBA right now, just based on what he's done over the last 4 years. Part of it is just the Heat have shown to be just a different team in the playoffs than what they've been over the regular season the last 4 years as well. They've been a solid regular season team over the last 4 years, but something about the style of playoff basketball, they just turn into a different beast, frankly. So they're a team that makes it very hard to judge, right? I mean, as
Rohan,
much as
they
you can
were
sit
the
here and
number
say,
one seed. What, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, they were the number one seed. So even during the regular season, they were like, "Oh, they're the number one seed," but everybody was hurt. Soon as they get healthy, they'll run over the Heat. That's what we heard when they were the number one seed.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I think that people just don't know what to expect at this point from guys like we obviously here in South Florida, we see Gabe up close, Max up close, Caleb Martin up close. But even those guys go to another level sometimes in the playoffs that I think can be very hard to predict. So, listen, it's a very tough team to get a read on. Even this year, I keep being like, well, surely they're going to take a step back, but it's like, how can you count them out? I feel, it's a tough team to get a read on.
I think the thing that's going to be interesting, Ron, is going to be Tyler, because, he seems like he's coming into this whole thing and handled everything with the right attitude. Clearly a little bit of pissed offness, but I think it's almost maybe going to be a benefit to him. What do you think is, I guess, the fair outlook to him? Because he's going to turn 24 in the middle of the year. So it's kind of going from like, baby in the league to like starting to creep towards the prime. What do you think is a fair outlook for Tyler?
Fair outlook is tough. I mean, listen, I haven't necessarily always been the biggest Hero fan. I'm really impressed with the way he handled the summer. I think that showed a lot of maturity. It's not easy what he's been through this summer, not only being bandied about in the trade rumors, but then hearing over and over again, teams don't want you, you're not a good trade chip, etc. I don't think he could have handled it any better than he has. In terms of the fair outlook for him, I'm not looking at, points per game. I'm not looking at all that. I think the two things that are going to be important to me, three things I should say: free throw attempts, 3-point attempts, and defense. That's what it's going to come down to, because he's a talented player. He can score, but can he get to the rim and score more efficiently? Can he shoot? He's such a good 3-point shooter. Will he shoot more threes? Get rid of those mid-range shots. Will he shoot more threes? And at the end of the day, if you want to be an impact player in this league, if you want to be an impact player in the playoffs, you got to be able to play defense. And I think there's a reason why the Heat have looked really good with Max Strus the last couple postseasons in the lineup, because Max, even if he's not a great defender, will hold his own on that end of the floor. That's something that Tyler has not been able to do consistently enough. So I think, to me, it's not even about points per game, etc. I think he's highly motivated. There's no question about that. But at the end of the day, he's got to prove it defensively if he's going to be an impact player for this team in the postseason.
Ron, isn't that a Heat staple, though? A Heat staple, you come in with a certain skill, and we help you develop all the other skills that you are lacking, whether it's defense, whether it's shooting, whether it's ball handling, whether it's getting to the rim. So he's only 4 years in. Like, and we all say that your prime is 26, 27. Why are we doing this with all these young players? That it has to happen now, when, if you look at the history of the NBA, it doesn't happen until they're 26, 27.
I agree. Let me put it this way. I definitely think he has room to grow in his game. He's not a finished product. I think the reason why there's such a spotlight on him is because this team is clearly ready to win now, right? So they're asking, they got to put more on his plate. He was such a big part of that first finals run as a rookie, obviously 37 against Boston in that memorable game in the bubble. So it might be a little bit unfair how much is being put on his plate as such a young player. But that's the consequence of being on a championship contender, right? I think Tyler welcomes that. Like, he welcomes that attention. He said over and over again, I deserve to be in this class of players, and he obviously wants to prove it. I really respect that. But that when you're on a championship team, when you're on a team that's trying to win, that kind of spotlight comes with it.
Talking to Rohan Nadkarni, you can read his article. There's no one quite like Jimmy Butler on SI.com. It's a really good. Before we get you out of here, Rohan, what was the most Goosey's-inducing thing that Pat Riley told you?
Oh, God, there's so many Goosey's things that Pat Riley told me. I'm going to tell you a few real quick.
Now I know you guys hang out too much because you knew right away what Goosey's meant.
Yeah.
And now I'm scared. Now I'm scared.
He told me that I asked him, he had a quote in his press conference at the end of the season about how Jimmy doesn't need a pat on the back for motivation. And I asked him about that. And Pat goes, that reminds me when Michael Thompson walked into my office in '86 after we traded for him on the Lakers. And he walked right up to my desk and said, Coach, I don't need a pat on the back to be motivated. I was like, whoa. He told me that Mickey Arison called him during I believe it was the 06-07 season. You guys remember the year that they were terrible. They ended up getting Beasley in the draft. He's losing a bunch of games. It's the last year of Pat Riley's career. He says, Mickey calls him and says, why don't you just step down and let Spo take over the team? Why are you taking all these losses? You're, Pat Riley, you're a legend. Pat tells me that he was like, I didn't want to give the team over to Spo because he probably would have won too many games down the stretch. And then, oh gosh, there was one more. Oh yes, he told me. So I'm going to tell you guys the story, but I'm still trying to report it out. I unfortunately, Spo was in East Asia during a lot of the reporting for this story, so I didn't get to ask him about this. But Pat Riley said the first night that they signed Jimmy, Pat, Eric, and Jimmy were at dinner together. I think some other people were there. He said their first night meeting, Spo and Jimmy got into an argument, and he said they were both heated and they had to agree to disagree. But it's just, yeah, man, they're always on. They're always on.
Perfect.
That sounds like Jimmy, and it sounds like Spo.
Exactly.
That's tremendous. Rohan, thanks for the time, man.
Thanks,
really
Rohan.
appreciate it.
Anytime, guys. Thank you for having me on.
There you go, man. Go check it out. There's no one quite like Jimmy Butler. Rohan Nadkarni does a great job. Go follow him.
Like you defending the Heat.
I know.
No,
Look at you.
The facts are the facts, dude. I can't just like everybody has this idea of what the Heat are, and it starts with the people that write about the Heat.
Yeah.
You have the facts. You know what these guys have done, what Jimmy has done. And yet the only thing we've got out of this offseason is Jimmy can't do it by himself. Tyler's not good enough. And we don't do that with young players. We don't do that with Tyler's 24 years old. The guy's already been six man of the year, and we've already dismissed him for all the things he can't do.
I'm just glad you agree with me, dude.
Stop it.
You guys are like samesies.
No,
exactly, dude.
Yeah.
He don't need you, DJ Khaled.
Just saying.